Before we get started, y'all know what we always say. Anybody got anything on their heart, mind, or soul that we can address before we get into the topic at hand? We don't want to go too far off base, but we want to at least get what's off your mind, because it's going to be a whole nother week past before you may be able to say it again or get it off your heart, mind, or soul. But our lesson today going to be that before we take any questions, be thou perfect. And we're going to get a clear understanding of what that means. You know, does that mean, a lot of times we'll say things like, well, I ain't perfect like you. You can't ever look at it in a negative light, so to speak. Whenever you look at perfect in a negative light, it's going to be a problem. Because these scriptures ain't never put us in a position where we can look down on anybody, just like that Psalm 84 said, I'd rather be a doorkeeper in the house of the Lord. You know, than running with the house of sin and wickedness. So y'all, with that, who got questions out here first? Go ahead, bro.
I was just speaking with a sister over there when we was talking about, there's a brother, of course, as you know, he's a non-believer. And you know, you hear the lies when they think that Genesis 1 contradicts about the sun being created. And they try to hit you with Genesis 1:14, and you know, we were just explaining to the sister how Christ was the light or whatnot. Right. And that's what we were just sitting there going over whatnot. In case anybody else wants to further expound on that, you know what I'm saying?
On who that light was in Genesis 1:1 and 2?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And you see the same thing. The Bible it always, because it's the same yesterday as today. And when you have these discussions that somebody may believe it from this perspective, one thing about the Bible, it has what's called consistency. It's going to repeat a matter in the same exact order throughout. But it's not just going to be where you can just find darkness and then find light. It has to be consistent with a pattern of things. So we see this, the beginning of the world, coming out of a flood. And that's what most people don't understand. Genesis 1:1 is coming out of a flood. You know, so when you understand that, and then that light comes into the world after darkness, and then we see the second coming of the Messiah. He's a light coming out of darkness. When he was born, the world was dark, because he asked Peter, what do men say, or who I am? And they say, some say this, but it was all darkness. But he was a root out of dry ground. So you have to understand what that means. You can't get a root out of dry ground. You ever seen a spot, dirt, where grass used to be, but now the children playing basketball on it? Ain't no more roots there. It's just flat dirt. He was a root out of dry ground, meaning he sprung up to teach the word of God when it wasn't being taught, or there was many other strange doctrines on the planet being taught. So when you understand the consistency of when he blocks out his ordinances, the sun, the moon, and the stars, and then the true light comes, because we got many people that worship sun, moon, and stars. Yeah. Deuteronomy 4:19 tells us never to worship the sun, moon, or the stars. So horoscope comes into that. You're worshiping the stars, moon, because your day is dictated by what's in the paper. Let me see. Oh, red is my color today, and 32 is my number. So you start to live your life off of ordinances and different things, that versus commandments. Two different things, y'all. So we have to be careful when we look at something and then we say, well, okay, it means this. Just like that Psalm 84 we just read. He's a sun and he's a shield. He's above both of them. Because y'all have to understand this, the second coming of the Lord is going to be a dark day. Dark, gloomy day. They never said, there's nowhere in these scriptures that say it's going to start off in light. It's going to be so chaotic. It says a man is running from a bear, and then he get away and breathing heavy, and there a lion is. So what end is it for you? Will it be a dark day for you? Or will you be glad to see that Son of Man come with that light he brings? And then he light up the whole world, and then we see a new heaven and a new earth, a new sun and moon created. But at this point, all light's going out. All light's going out. That's going to get your mind straight completely. And just to show you again another example of consistency, how long was it dark when he was on the cross? 6 hours of darkness. over the land, and they said, truly, this is the Son of Man.
Right.
So you couldn't look to the sun and the moon. You had to look to him, like Moses was lifted up the serpent in the wilderness. He was lifted up the same way, and them sun and moon blocked out, so you understand. Then a great earthquake. So you got to see just a glimpse of what the second coming is going to be like. But there's going to be earthquakes, there's going to be wars, there's going to be rumors of wars, there's going to be Donald Trump crazy rear end. There's going to be a lot of things going on, y'all, for the day of the Lord when it comes. So, we'll deal with that a little bit more after class. Anybody got any more questions concerning it? Anybody got anything else before we get rolling? Go ahead, sister.
Having some reading, I need some understanding on two things. The darkness she was talking about. Are you talking about the darkness that when we're going to be in darkness, it's going to be pitch black outside and we're supposed to stay in our houses?
Do you remember when we just had that eclipse here in St. Louis? It affects St. Louis for the first time in so many years. For 2 minutes, you could still see a little bit though, because you could still see the ring of the sun. It went dark immediately, and if y'all understand the effect it is, chickens, when the sun, when it moved, they start crowing again. All the animals in the field went and laid down like they do. For that brief 2 minutes, they thought it was the normal cycle going on. But when this happened, I'm talking about complete darkness where you can't see your hand this close to your face. Every natural ordinance light is going to be turned out, and when the grid get knocked out, you don't have no electricity anyway. But there's no light greater than sunlight right now except the Son of Man.
Right.
You can get the most high-power flashlight you want, but if you work on a car at 12 noon, you will see the back of the engine. Because that's how powerful the sun is, and it's sunlight. It gives light, but there's a light greater than that. So we just want y'all to understand. And another consistency, when he went to Egypt, what he put them in darkness for how long? 3 days. 3 days of darkness.
That's right.
So that they could get a handle on who's in control. And I'm talking about, he says, thick darkness.
Feel it.
If you don't understand, you can actually feel the darkness. Thick darkness. Thick darkness. So y'all, that's a consistent pattern before the true light comes and light the world back up again.
Yeah.
Because he's not coming to share his righteousness with no other king. It's not going to be, oh, okay, well, this nation over here, I'll share in with y'all. No, this is going to be a righteous dictatorship. Either you're going to get down or you're going to lay down.
That's right.
Christ is not going to pacify anybody about keeping of these commandments.
That's right, Doc.
You're not going to be in that kingdom doing what you're doing here.
Fat mouth.
You're not going to have that mindset. No, not that. Hustling and
the Feast of Tabernacles
again. And you starting out as 1,000 years. That's what we're talking about. You got to get yourself prepared to live around certain individuals starting out as 1,000 years. This is why he was saying, love your brother. Understand your brother. Y'all, the test is with our own people. We spend too much time hating other nations. He got something for them other nations. But before y'all even think about hate, y'all got to learn love of your brother.
That's right. That's right, Doc.
You got to learn that first. How you gonna try to figure that out in the kingdom? That's gonna be a problem. You see somebody that's there you got beef with, now you checking the Messiah. The Lord slipping. How he let that nigga in? You think you're going to have that mindset in the kingdom? No. You're going to have that doorkeeper mentality on you. At a minute, go ahead.
Just want to hit two verses. This is Joel chapter 2, verse 1 and 2.
What is that?
About the day of the Lord.
Yes, sir.
It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion.
Right.
And sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble. For the day of the Lord coming. For it is near at hand. A day of darkness.
A day of what?
A day of darkness.
Right.
And of gloominess. A day of clouds. And of thick darkness.
What kind of darkness?
Thick darkness. As the morning spread upon the mountains. A great people, a strong, there have not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations.
So you see right here, even if they launch a nuclear bomb, it will put us into darkness because of the mushroom cloud, but it can't block the sun out technically. It can't destroy the sun. It's too far away. But it can put a cloud over the atmosphere that we see and give us a dark look, just like before a storm. They can do that, but that's not this day of the Lord when he comes. When he blocks the sunlight and the moonlight completely out. Ooh. I'm talking about darkness.
So dark you can feel it. You can feel it. Like when you pure darkness, you can feel it. It's thick. It's dark matter. That's actually a presence to it.
Yes.
You can feel it.
Hit that in 5:18.
Look, this 2 Corinthians 4. I'm gonna start at 5, y'all. Yeah. 2 Corinthians chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 5.
Yes, sir.
It says, "For we preach not ourselves, but Christ Jesus the Lord, and ourselves your servants for Jesus' sake. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness."
Out of where?
Out of darkness.
Right.
"Have shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of the Messiah."
That's right.
So we see what light that was in Genesis 1 and 3. It was the Messiah the whole time.
That's right.
So for anybody want to question y'all on that, just tell them 2 Corinthians 4, chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. That is actually the precept to that verse.
Absolutely.
To show you the light that shined out of darkness at first was Jesus Christ.
That's right.
Right there.
Go ahead, bro. Hit that Amos 5:18.
Amos 5:18?
Yeah.
Don't grab that, yeah.
Reading from the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 18.
What it say?
It says, "Woe unto you that desire the day of the Most High."
Don't all of us desire the day of the Lord? We want to see the second coming. But why is the prophet saying woe? Woe means warning. Be warned about the day of the Lord. Go ahead, bro.
It says, "To what end is it for you?"
To what end is it for you? Are you sure you saved? Are you truly fixed in your heart like you've been doing them smooth soliloquies and at somebody's birthday party? I'm saved and I'm filled with those. Are you sure? Go ahead, bro.
The day of the Most High is dark.
It's what?
Is darkness and not light. Verse 19. "As if a man did flee from a lion, and a bear met him."
Yo, do y'all understand that type of trouble? Somebody chase you through a neighborhood, you get through and they stop, and then you look up here, another neighborhood you got to go through. Worse than that. Go ahead, bro.
"Or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall, and the serpent bit him."
Look, he got in his house and thought he was safe. And leaning his hand on the wall. And out. Go ahead, bro.
"Shall not the day of the Most High be darkness and not light? Even very dark, and no brightness in it."
And no brightness in it, y'all. So we're not saying that to scare you. We're telling you these things to get you prepared for the day of the Lord so you don't panic and run the wrong way. It's not what they're telling you in Sunday doctrine that it's going to be so joy. And when we see him like this, there's going to be a dark period before he shows up. This is when men and women will be tried in the furnace of affliction to see if you're worthy to reign with the Messiah. He gave his life for us, y'all. The way they beat him and tortured him, there ain't no human being on planet ever recorded as going through a beating like that.
Yep.
And then hang on a cross for over 6 hours, suffocating in your own blood. Electric chair, they take you right out. Them drugs they pumping you on death row takes you right out. You smile and then drift on off. But crucifixion, the Roman torture device. Right. And for anybody that's saying, well, we see Acts say he was hung from a tree and cursed of every man hung from a tree. If you don't think this was crucifixion, then you're going to have a problem with the rest of the scriptures. Because he didn't show his disciple rope burns around his neck.
That's right.
He showed him his hands and his feet and his side where they pierced him at. and you hang from a tree, when do they start nailing a nail through your hands? And you ever seen a slave with his hands nailed through his feet hanging from a rope? And how is he conversating with a rope around his neck? So y'all don't misunderstand the scripture. He was hung on a tree because that's what the cross was made out of. A tree. So when you understand it from that perspective, you understand tree don't naturally, every time you see it, means a literal tree. Tree means men, it means angels. So you have to put it in perspective when it comes down to that torture device. A torture device. Hanging from your wrist. What else we got? Will you finish with that, bro?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anybody else before we get started? Go ahead, Sister Kim.
When you sleep and when you say that your spirit in your body, the trap. Is that something that we do, or is that something that happens on its own? And if it does, can a demon enter your body? If you leave your body spiritless?
Oh, you mean like your body just laying there and another driver could jump in there?
No, you're sleeping and they say your body astral
project.
Right.
You can't leave your body. If you leave your body, you die.
Right.
Something called, you can't leave your body. If you leave your body, you die. You have an etheric body, a spiritual body, and a physical body.
Yes,
all
sir.
these bodies are chained by something called the civil cord.
Right.
So once that civil cord is severed, you're dead. So you can't leave your body. Now you can astral project. That's just seeing something on a spiritual plane or walking in the spiritual plane. That's what they call, what we ignorantly call a dream state. Because when you dream, you're in a different what? A different body, right? Because your body's sleep. So you don't leave your body. Only time you leave your body is when you're dead, and when you die, you can't come back to this ring.
Right.
So that's death. So you don't leave your body. But can you open yourself up? Do you open up portals to different spirits when you do astral project? Of course. You open yourself up to spirits when you drink coffee in the morning. See what I'm saying? So you always open yourself up to spirits. So you know what I'm saying? They don't even go together. But you can't leave your body unless you die. When you leave your body, you die.
Right.
So even in meditation, you know how they say, take your mind elsewhere. Right. Even though you take your mind elsewhere, your mind still is inside what? Your body.
Right.
See what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So don't play on it. It's the linguistics and soliloquies. It sounds all smart and it sounds all scientific, but it's all bull crap.
That's right. So you know, some people say I was looking down at my body. Yeah. This mental mind right here, this goes a lot of places, but they're all in visions and dreams. You know, visions or trances is basically, like he say, a supernatural seeing into the future, like John the Baptist. John the Baptist didn't leave his body and come to 2018. He, in his conscious mind, went to that level, so to speak, but he was still in his body breathing.
They call that time traveling. Time traveling inside of his body, though.
Yeah.
It's all in your mind. All in your body. Your body exists inside your mind. Remember, your mind is not inside your body. Your mind made the body.
That's right.
Your mind made the body. It's all exists inside your head. How do you know these are your hands? Because you think that these are your hands. So all of this is from the mind. All of it.
So I mean, you get some understanding on that, sis?
Yeah, but the first one I didn't, because I was trying to ask about the darkness and what do you do inside. Somebody told me we're supposed to tape up our the windows and not show no light.
To do what?
That's not scripture.
Where you gonna get the light from if it's dark?
And look, this the whole thing though. Sis, this is the whole thing. Start doing this. Whenever you be hearing this stuff, and before you start even bringing it to us, ask the person that told you this, where can I find this in scripture with 2 witnesses? Yeah. If it ain't there, it ain't even no point of even mentioning it. You see what I'm saying? Start holding them to measuring sticks and standards. That way, it ain't even got to get all the way to her. You know what I'm saying? Start cutting them off short, and you will see most of the stuff they saying, they can't validate it with scripture, so why are you listening to it anyway? See what I'm saying? So we can't be naive when it comes to all knowledge. Like if they can't prove it with scripture, don't even have that in your psyche. You see what I'm saying? This shit even come here. Like you can't prove this with my belief, so I ain't trying to hear it. Because when you start noticing though, it don't even make sense. Where did them rules even come from?
Right.
To tape up your, where is that at? I've never heard it in my life.
You're going to weatherproof your house to get rid of the light.
You see what I'm?
No.
But you see how it don't make sense though?
No, I'm saying what I'm trying to still figure out what they say about taping up the window.
It was, long before I started here, I belonged to another church, but I stopped going for years. The thing is I still see the same people and I'm trying to tell them the truth.
Right.
And this came about when someone put on the internet, there being certain days of darkness or something, or certain months of darkness that we'll have to stay in and we have to have a lot of water and all that kind of stuff. And they said that we are supposed to go in the house and we ain't supposed to let no light shine outside into the world because there'll be demons out there that if they see light they'll bother you or...
See, and that's what we're saying, sister. That could go so many ways. So if you ask them chapter and verse, when you come down here and you say, well, they said John 5th chapter, and they said Revelation 6, then we can look at that and view that from the Bible perspective. We have something to gauge, and then there's either reproof and correction on our part, or it's misunderstanding on the person's part that told you that and they're being reproved. But we have to have something tangible that we can look at, because this doctrine, we don't know where that could come from. That's just somebody could have just thought that up in their mind and their vain opinion of what the scripture say. Right, but if it ain't no chapters and verse, sister, you have the right to ask that. If they can't answer by chapter and verse, don't even deal with it. It's a waste of time, because all you're doing is swapping ideas and things that'll be on your mind, and then you looking at your windows and getting rolls of duct tape for what? It ain't scripturally sound. Go ahead, brother.
Just real quick, John 3:1.
What it say?
What was Jesus doing outside of John 3:1? It says, there was a man of the Pharisees named Nicodemus,
right,
and ruler of the Jews. The same came to Jesus by night.
By what?
By night. And said unto him, Rabbi, we know that thou art a teacher come from the Most High. For no man can do these miracles that thou doest, except God be with him.
That's right.
So the question would be, what was Christ doing on Saturday? He should have been teaching this day.
Right.
See what I'm saying? So like that, don't leave the same.
Yeah, don't hear, they ain't got no scripture.
I would have just landed by.
Right, and it may be a serious thing. These people may think that they're on to something too. You know, so you have to be really careful about what you're entertaining. If you don't hear chapter and verse, that's automatically, let everybody understand, if you don't hear chapter and verse, that's automatically should let you know this may be a problem here, this may be straight opinion. You know, and then it could be just foolish talk. Hit that Proverbs 26:4-5 for me, so we get some understanding. Then we're gonna move forward, y'all. We're gonna get on with the class. But this is some, when we say foolish talk, yo, that's not disrespect to anybody. We can't offend in this word. Now, individuals may get offended, but when we say that's foolish talk, we're backing it up with scripture, that scripture is truth and power. There's no foolish talk in the scripture, but men are vain. They talk foolish. Job said his wife spoke as a foolish woman. You know, and we're not to call brethren fools because you're in danger of hellfire. That means you're saying this individual is so stupid he can't come to the knowledge of the Most High. And the Most High said, I've made these scriptures for a baby to understand. So you got to be careful if you call somebody a fool, and then that became a language in our neighborhood. What's up, fool? Nothing, fool. So basically, are you saying, what's up? Can't come to the understanding of knowledge? What's up? You can't come to the understanding of knowledge either. So you have to be careful when we use these words. We always put ISH on the end of it. Unless the fool says that there's no God, then you can let him have it. No ISH on the end of it. When they saying that the God of this Bible don't exist. The Messiah of this Bible is made up. That's a fool. Right. Go ahead, read that for me, brother. Proverbs 26:4-5. What's the Shalom says?
The book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 4.
What it say?
We'll take it to 6.
Okay.
It says, answer not a fool according to his folly.
Answer not a fool according to his folly. What is folly? So we get a definition of folly. Give me just folly, anybody.
Nonsense.
We get nonsense.
Tomfoolery.
Tomfoolery. It's nonsense. Don't answer a fool in his nonsense.
Foolishness.
Look, if somebody say a fool, that type of talk, somebody would say, you know, I was Jesus Christ 1,000 years ago. But now you're working at Family Dollar.
Right, like that heathen walking down Martin Luther King.
Yeah, saying he the Messiah.
And an all white robe. Some of y'all done seen that heathen before?
So this the second, so he's on the third coming now.
Like this,
right,
yeah.
we got a third coming then coming.
Yeah.
So that's foolish talk. Ain't no need to entertaining that. You can ask a good question. Read the next verse for me, bro.
It says, answer not a fool according to his folly.
Right.
Lest thou also be like unto him.
See what you'll be like unto him? Because you'll start to repeat that same thing that cannot be proven. The script tells us to prove all things. Be wise, study to show thyself approved. When you talk about a matter, be ready to prove it. Go ahead. What does it say?
Answer a fool according to his folly.
Now see, how does that sound? One just said, don't answer a fool according to his folly. Right. And then the next verse say, answer a fool to his folly. What's going on with this contradiction? Oh, no. Finish the verse though.
Lest he be wise in his own conceit.
Now, if he be wise in his own conceit, then you have to answer him basically saying like, everything from the Bible was stolen out of Egypt. See, in the book of the dead, we show her. Now you have to answer that. Because it may be the unlearned are thinking that they're going to show you something in the book of the dead that was stolen from the Bible. They can't do it. No, they talking noise. Ain't nothing. Horse ain't have no 12 disciples in it. Ain't nothing out of here stolen out of the book of the dead. So you have to answer that for this power movement running through these Kemet worshipers or people running back into Egypt. That's right. So you have to answer that foolish talk from that perspective so nobody else get caught up in the trap. But foolish stuff like dig up in your nose, I can make a booger talk. Say something.
No need to answer.
Ain't no need to answer that. You need to ride down on Delmore and Union at Blige, the crazy house down there. Where we at?
Verse 6. He that sendeth a message by the hand of a fool, cut it off the feet and drink it down.
Wow. So y'all see that? So why would you even put anybody in that position like that? Like a simple way of understanding it is like, why would you, you know, pawn the only TV to pay the cable bill?
Right. Right.
You still ain't watching TV.
Yep. Or like I say in the Apocrypha, why would you consult with a coward about war?
About war, absolutely, bro.
Don't make sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. He peeping out the window and you asking him.
What should I do?
Right.
Look out this window.
Like Saul was hiding behind his desk and David came in there. Who was that? David, you want my armor?
What shall happen to the man that killeth this uncircumcised Philistine?
You get my daughter and my armor. You want it there? Man, I don't need all of that. Go ahead, bro.
Just to, you know what I'm saying, Alan, to what Brother Daniel saying, 2 Timothy 2:23.
What it say?
But foolish and unlearned questions avoid.
Do what?
But foolish and unlearned questions avoid.
That's right.
Knowing that they do gender strifes.
That's all it's going to do. It's going to create a hostile situation because you're arguing about nothing.
He said he can make a book of talk.
And you going to sit there, I bet you can't. I bet you can't. I bet it ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to give you some time. Why?
Right, so if it's too foolish, you ignore them.
Right.
That's what they're saying. But if it go too far, like that Bible made it up. You feel me? Christ was a this. You feel me? When the faith is on the line, then you got to go ahead and respond accordingly because other people may be listening to that madness. Christ was made up and stolen out of Egypt. Well, we're going to have to address that like right now.
Right.
You feel me? But if he's talking about he can make a bullet talk or he can do 20 years with his eyes closed, like, well, okay.
Okay.
We're going to let you fat mouth over there to
Right.
those that believe you. But when it comes down to the faith, you got to correct the fool.
We're gonna let you holly.
Somebody else may believe that.
That's right.
You feel me? And leave about it believing that Christ was made up. You feel me? The Bible was stolen out of Egypt. All religions and beliefs are the same.
He was invented.
Yeah, all
Right.
that extra,
All
all
of
that
that.
extra madness. Then,
Absolutely.
Then, okay, the swords got to come out then.
Yeah.
But if it's just foolishness, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about it, brother. What color really is the sky? Is it blue or pink? Well, I mean, that depends on, you know, how the Most High decided to let it be shown that day.
That's right.
Some of them sunsets be off the train.
That's right.
The sky don't even be blue. You feel me? But, you know, anybody coming with that, then you know how to ignore that.
Right.
But if the faith is on the line and there's people around listening, we got to address that.
Right.
You got to get addressed.
Yeah, that's where it says right here, you know, lest he be wise in his own conceit.
Absolutely.
And he think he know what he talking
Right.
about.
Right,
He
bro.
spread that bull
Yeah.
crap around.
Because y'all silent. Y'all ain't said nothing.
That's right.
Like I was,
Deep, that brother deep.
I was in White Castle the other day. The dude had a little ump around his neck, and I was breaking off some script. The dude was like, the Bible started from the pyramids, and I was talking to somebody about the script. I said, now watch this. I'm going to show you that all they do is repeat what somebody else said.
That's right.
I said, bro, what law? He looked like, what? What law? He said, what do you mean? I said,
What wall was the
Right,
Bible talking
right,
about
right.
in Egypt?
You said.
Or whatnot.
He ain't thought that for him.
I said, exactly, bro, stop.
And then look, the next time, just pull up. I got little hieroglyphics in my phone.
Pyramid text.
Oh, I get them. I said,
Yeah.
what does this say? Show me what this say right here.
Right.
I zoom in.
Right.
What
does
this
that
say right here? Man, can't none of you read it. But when you done talking, man, it's just a whole bunch of madness.
The white man wrote the Bible. Who deciphered the hieroglyphics?
The white man. And that's facts.
It wasn't no dark-skinned man breaking it down. Yes, and right here, the bird means this. That's John Champollion. and
Yeah,
somebody
John
else.
Francis
His name was
Champollion.
R.O. Faulkner and Samuel A.B. Mercer. These were the first two people, like Samuel A.B. Mercer, basically, quote-unquote, translated for the first time in 1952, and then in 1969, R.O. Faulkner did as well. And these are some of the people that...
But Nary Egyptian was on that council. Right, but I'm saying Nary Egyptian was on that council.
No.
Right.
If
And
you,
then look, a lot of people don't even know Samuel A.B. Mercer believed in the Bible and knew that we were Israelites.
hey, look, and then when you just ask them flat out what it is, right? Like, all right, well, who deciphered that? And they don't even know. But even the Egyptologists today, or the so-called Kemet guys, whatever, they quote Faulkner.
Right.
They quote whoever these guys are. So you be like, how you talking about the Bible was written by the white man? You feel me? But you wouldn't know what that boo-boo stain was on that wall right there had not one of these white men made some type of concordance up there. So it's a whole bunch of madness.
And I asked the dude, because when dealing with hieroglyphics, I said, what does hieroglyphics even mean?
Yeah.
It means sacred writings, a sacred carving. I said, how can it be sacred or holy when it's one has been tampered with? Two, you can't read it. And three, the dude who quote-unquote translated, he said it can't even be textually verified. So basically, it's hearsay.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Hearsay.
You
Right.
type in, hey, you know what you do? You type in on Wikipedia, the father of Egyptology.
Right.
And you're gonna get a long list of folks, right? You're gonna get about 20, 30 names.
All the white
And look, ain't now
Black.
Negro on the list.
Right.
white boys.
There's no Negroes on the list. It's all so-called heathens, and then it's two Arabs.
Right.
But like so all the so-called black scholars that the conscious community is bigging up, like Dr. Ben or John Henry Clark, ain't none of them on the list.
Right.
None of those men on the list. You feel me? So again, that means they got their research from them.
That's
Look,
right.
Dr. Ben admitted he got a book called African Civilization, the Mother Africa page.
I got the deal.
on PDF.
I got it.
He talked about how E.A. Wallace Buzz was some of the most renowned Egyptologists in the world. And
Yeah.
these are the same people that were Masons and Druid demon worshippers.
Yeah.
That's a whole other topic.
That's right.
Yeah.
Anybody else before we get started, y'all? Because we need to get moving.
Let's go.
Y'all
Let's
remember
start.
that 222? We need another
Shots fired.
rotation out there, and then 322. You good, sis?
I just want to say thank you.
And you, amen.
Call me stupid, just-
No, look, sis, we
Hey,
never do
look,
that.
we ain't never
Never
called
do
you
that.
stupid.
Never.
I said
Look.
not wrong.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
We ain't never
good,
called
good.
you that.
So you can say amen. Amen, Sister Kim. And amen, y'all just mean I agree with the understanding. Now I can teach what y'all just told me. I'm in agreement with that. Y'all made sense to me. That's what amen means. So you can't beg for one like they do in church. Come on now, church. Can I get an amen? You know, and what they may have said may have been foolish talk. And you say amen, that means I agree with that foolish talk you just said. Anybody begging for one, no, amen is always said when the light bulb turns on. When you like, I got that. Amen.
It can mean, may it be so in the future if you're talking about future events.
Say again.
You can say amen if you're talking about future events. It would then
absolutely prophecy. The second coming.
It still means you agree.
You agree.
It comes from the Hebrew word aman, which means faith.
Faith, right.
So for you to have faith or believe in something, that means you agree with it.
That's right.
So it's the same thing, even if you're talking future tense. Oh, amen. Why? Right. Because the scriptures say the Messiah will return with the greatest army in existence and destroy Babylon. Amen.
That's right.
Because I believe that. Faith. That's in the scripture.
That's right. Shalom, y'all. So, y'all, we're going to get moving. Y'all, what's on the board today is be thou perfect. We see this a lot. And you see that this person was perfect with the Most High. But we think about perfect in our own carnal mind. You think this person don't make mistakes. You think that that's what the word perfect means. But when you get that carnal sense of perfect, then if somebody does something that you don't like, they may use it against you in a negative form and make all of your extra study seem or appear that is nothing. Well, I guess I ain't perfect like you. See, that's a negative connotation to understand perfect. That means that because a person is trying to do right, you're offended by that. You think you perfect. You think you perfect. No, I'm trying to be. But what makes perfect? So what are we practicing? The law, statutes, and judgments. We are practicing to become perfect in the walk of the Most High that He requires us to be. Not in no foolishness or no contest about because I straighten my shoes up and my side of the bed every night. I don't think I'm perfect because of that. That's just order so I know where they at in case I need to put them on. It's an emergency. You got to wake up looking for something every day. That's going to be a problem, ain't it? How you running late and don't know where your other shoe at? So we're going to look up the Hebrew word of perfect, if y'all get that for me. Perfect, and it always will be right next to it the word just. So we're going to get the biblical understanding of both words as we move forward, and then you'll understand perfect don't mean sinless. It was one that was what we call perfect, or what we call had mastered perfection. Just one. Just one. Go ahead, bro. Perfect for me.
H8549.
What it say?
Twameen. Complete, whole, entire, sound. The strong definition is literally, figuratively, or morally, also as a noun, integrity,
right.
Truth, without blemish.
Without what?
Without blemish. Complete, full, perfect, sincerely, sound, without spot, undefiled, upright, whole.
So y'all, when we see what perfect means, it means that you've covered every angle. The blemishes are gone to the point that where you answer things from a four-corner perspective. North, east, south, and west. Y'all, the gospel is the good news, ain't it?
Yes, sir.
That's where the word news came from. The north, east, west, and south. The four corners of the earth. That's what you get your news on it from around the world today. The north, east, west, and south, y'all. So this gospel, this good news, y'all, we got to be perfected in it because it has to go to the four corners of the earth. Don't care about what these nations saying over there. They got to get this good news too, and then the end shall come. Because they have to be included in on the master plan, so to speak. Whatever their role in prophecy will be, it includes the whole world. Not just a portion of it or 1/4 of the world, but the whole world will be included in on the second coming. And it ain't going to be pleasant for a lot of people. So what we got for just? Give me just, y'all. We're going to move on. We're going to start this off with the Most High so we get understanding of the difference in his perfection and where ours is. Because, y'all, for us to have that perfectness that he has, that's the future tense where we speak of, amen, that we put on perfection at this point when we can't die no more. But, y'all, we can be as perfect as we want to be on this planet. But guess what's going to happen? We're going to get embalming fluid in us if we die before the Messiah come back.
No doubt. No doubt. And then look, also, you got people in the scriptures like Job, like the parents of John the Baptist, they were called perfect.
That's right.
And it just means they hated evil, you feel me, and lived their life based off the commandments of God.
That's right.
It don't mean you flawless or not going to make mistakes. So biblically speaking, if we talk about being perfect, that's attainable to everybody in this room.
That's right.
You can hate, you can dread or hate what's evil and live your life according to the commandments of God. Yeah. That's what it is. Today you think perfect is I'm flawless. I don't make any mistakes. You understand? But biblically speaking, Job was called perfect. Brother Job in the Bible, right? It said he eschewed evil.
That's right.
He hated evil, right? And he lived his life based off the law, statutes, and commandments of God. All right? Also, John the Baptist's parents, same thing. They were called perfect. It don't mean you don't make mistakes or you don't get mad sometime or whatever. But what it was, they hated what was evil. They hated what God hated.
That's right.
Whatever God hates, I hate. You feel me? And then they lived their life and they dictated their life based off the word, commandments, laws, and statutes of the Heavenly Father.
That's right.
That's the biblical example of what perfect is. Right? So somebody asks you what love is, but you won't give the biblical definition of love. You'll say February the 14th.
That's right.
He got me a ring. He got me some flowers. He must love me. Boo-boo loves me. Right? But if we're going to give the biblical example of what love is, it's the keeping of the Most High God's commandments.
That's right.
So again, don't confuse what you think perfect is or what you think love is with what the scriptures say. Once you understand what the scripture says, then you can be like, oh, okay, that's what that is right there.
That's right.
So when he say be ye perfect, for I am perfect, what that it's attainable.
That's
right. It don't mean
flawless.
It means be sincere in what you're doing. Hate was evil and love was right according to the Lord.
That's right.
Right? Well, that's the case, then we all can attain that. You know what I'm saying? And grow on, once everything is fulfilled, grow on to actually be flawless.
That's right.
Not, you know, we in training right now. The biblical definition of perfect, hate what's evil. You're not cool with a murderer. You're not cool with a thief or a sodomite or homosexual. Right. You understand? You're not cool, meaning it's not okay with you. It rubs you it hits you in your gut every time you see it. When I be in the Delmore Loop and I see any of our brothers involved in that wickedness, it hits me in the gut every time.
Right.
I don't be like, oh, well, he do him, you know, I'ma do me. No, that's evil. You feel me? So you should never get to the point to where you're comfortable with wickedness.
That's right.
You understand? You got to pull them aside and say, look, bro, look, get yourself together.
That's right.
You understand? Before you enter into judgment, right? And live your life based off the commands. That's what perfect is. I don't want, you know.
No, you good, bro. Absolutely. You got just?
It's H6662.
What is called?
Tazadik.
Yeah, that's righteous.
Yes.
Just ain't righteous.
Absolutely.
Just, lawful, righteous.
That's righteous.
Just righteous in government. Just righteous in one's cause. Just and righteous in conduct or character. Righteous as justified and vindicated by Yahweh. Right, correct, lawful.
So y'all see these two words, and when you look them up, another Hebrew definition for them is called matur, to do. If you go off, it will straighten you up and put you back on that path. If you refuse to straighten it, then you go in left field. Go ahead, bro.
The law of Yahweh is perfect, converting the soul.
What does it do?
Converting the soul.
See, it don't convert the flesh. It converts the soul. It converts that consciousness we were talking about, just so you may have what's called an out-of-body experience. You ain't leaving your body, but you do supernatural things. When you touch an individual and you see the spirit, or they're sick and they become whole right before your eye, arm twisted up like this and it's straightened out normal. It's what bro just read about Nicodemus. No man can do these things except he come from God.
That's right.
No man. I'm a chief Pharisee. I ain't never done nothing like this. I know all these other ones around here perpetrating and stealing money with this widow that had this blood dripping for 12 years. That's a hustle game. But what you were doing, and he's still looking around at night like this to see if some of his boys see him over here giving it up. But he knew what perfection was. He like that. Them games we've been running is child's play.
Bring it out.
I ain't never seen a man that ain't never been blind since birth, and he see clear as a bed. And they say, go get his parents. Well, what happened with this? This boy been blind. They like, you ask him, he grown. Go ahead, bro.
The testimony of Yah is sure.
What is it?
Sure.
When you ask somebody, are you sure? And they say, yeah, brother. Yeah. You're confident that it's okay because you didn't ask, are you sure? How many times? If you ask 1,000,000 times and they finally say for the 1,000,000th time, brother, I told you, I'm sure. I'll be there Thursday if I'm living. The Most High's word is sure. If you alive at the second coming, you're going to see everything prophesied. If you dead, you're going to be at the resurrection. That's for sure. It ain't no mistake. That is for sure. Go ahead, bro.
Making wise the simple.
Making what?
Wise the simple.
See, so around here, y'all, we can't talk over nobody's head. So
that's right,
whatever questions Sister Kim got, everybody in this room got to come down to that mindset.
Sister Kim, you know we love you.
If this fly over her head like an F-15 and she's sitting here like this, she's in parrot mode. She just gonna repeat what she heard. Deuteronomy. Leviticus. And don't nobody know what's going on. So everybody got to get back down here so we make sure this body is on point. And we got to start off with a doorkeeper mentality. Everybody's a doorkeeper. We got to watch each other's back and their front and their sides. If we overlook any question that we got, y'all, we done overlooked the body. We done left a leak in here. And y'all know what a leak can do. Y'all have ever drippy faucet and then get the bill? Wait a minute. You can drip 30 gallons in an hour. Ooh. And it's been dripping like that the whole month. Ooh. So we can't allow any leak just dripping like that. She has to understand what we teaching so she can teach somebody else so that they don't think we're in a cult. Where we at? Go ahead, brother.
Verse 8. The statutes of Yah are right.
What are they?
Right. Rejoice in the heart. The commandment of the Lord is pure.
What is it?
Pure.
See, it ain't watered down. Yo, this is why no matter what we do, everything have to be according to the record because it's pure. Every decision you make about this law, it has to be a pure decision because it's pure. It's not tampered with. It hasn't been tainted. Anybody say it's been tampered with, answer in chapter and verse. No, their mental has been tampered with.
That's right.
Not this word. This word is pure.
That's right.
It means undefiled, no leaven in it at all. It's the truth. The author of this said, if you find void in it, if you find fault in it, put it down, and I'll let you in the kingdom. But you ain't going to find that in his word. Because if it had, by now, all these haters of the Messiah, we'd have been found the sin he committed. And that would have ended, wouldn't it?
It would.
One sin will end it.
Good luck.
Good luck. Thank you, brother. Go ahead.
The commandment of the Lord is pure, enlightening the eyes. The fear of Yahweh is clean,
Right.
enduring forever. The judgment of the Lord are true and righteous altogether. More to be desired are they than gold, yea, than much fine gold. Sweeter also than honey and the honeycomb.
That's right.
Moreover, by them is thy servant warned.
By thy servant is what?
Warned.
Right.
And in keeping of them, there is great reward.
So y'all see the other side of that, not only the warning part, but when you warn, you have to learn what you need to do so that warning don't keep coming to you, y'all. If we don't, all we're going to be is a group of condemnation artists 24/7. Just pointing the finger at each other. You didn't do this.
What you say, condemnation or what?
24/7 condemnation. That's all we'll be in. But the law is not for a righteous man. It don't mean a righteous man don't have to keep the law. But once he start understanding, ain't no need to keep discussing, stealing, and we got that down. We go over there with newcomers, but if we get to the point that where we have to give instructions down here, all right, now women, sit on your purses. We got a few 5-finger discount artists up in here. Skilled at stealing out of your purse, may get your credit card. What we look like telling somebody that and then expect them to come back the next week? Go ahead, bro. You was finished with that?
I can go as long.
No, let's hit that. Psalm 37, y'all. We just gonna hit because David's heart, the Most High say, was like his own. And
yeah, I just did too. It's on you.
13:23. So we see, and David's heart is crying out to the Lord. These psalms were written of understanding of perfection. Even though David did what he did, you never see recorded anywhere where David did it twice. It ain't on his jacket twice. That's pure repentance. Not repenting because he got caught, but repentance because he know I'm falling out of the way of perfection. Go ahead, bro. Psalm 37, start about verse 30. And we're going to read down to 38.
Psalm chapter 37, verse 30.
Yes, sir.
The mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom.
What does it speak?
Wisdom.
See, so when righteousness means a law keeper, so if he's doing it like he's supposed to, it's going to profess wisdom. Meaning that you're going to see the matter, and it don't even matter about your economic status when it comes down to understanding wisdom. See, if it has to be about riches for you to understand wisdom, then that's going to be a problem for us. Because who the poorest people on the planet? We'll never get no wisdom, would we? If it came down to that.
Nah, ain't nothing cracking.
Go ahead, bro.
And his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of his Yahweh is in his heart.
Is in his word?
Is in his heart.
Right.
None of his steps shall slide. The wicked watcheth the righteous, and seeketh to slay him. The Lord will not leave him in his hand, nor condemn him when he is judged. Wait on the Elohim, and keep his way.
Do what?
And keep his way. And he shall exalt thee to inherit the land. When the wicked are cut off, thou shalt see it.
That's right.
I have seen the wicked in great power, and spreading himself like a green bay tree. Yet he passed away, and lo, he was not. Yea, I sought him, but he could not be found. Mark the perfect man.
Do what?
Mark the perfect man.
Right.
And behold the upright. For the end of that man is peace.
See, and that's what you're looking for, that peace. Because that's what the millennial period is about, ain't it? Peace. Ain't no war. Ain't no crime. Ain't no mourning for the dead. Y'all, it's peace.
Hallelujah.
And y'all know what peace is. When you tell somebody just a little peace for the day. You tell the shortest, y'all just quiet down. Or what? Y'all quiet down so your daddy can have a little peace. He got to get up. Just a little peace, y'all. But we're talking about perfect peace from henceforth. Ain't never got to say, lock that door behind you. Who moved my... Who broke that? I'm beating every... Oh, let's go. Ain't no more of waiting on the Sabbath and then sit up the next Monday morning. Damn. Gotta get on up again and go to work. Not that. We're talking about the Sabbath rest that was mentioned in Genesis chapter 2, what it should have been.
Right.
We was born into that peace. We
Let me
was
read this real
born
quick, guys.
into that. Go ahead.
I mean, y'all write this down right here, John 14, 26 and 27 about that peace. Not the two-finger peace.
That's right. Right.
A peace of God. All right, John 14, 26 and 27. It says, but the Comforter, which is the Holy Ghost, whom the Father will send in my name, he shall teach you all things.
He should do what?
Teach you all things. And bring all things to your remembrance, whatsoever I have said unto you. Peace I leave with you. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid.
That's right.
Not as the world giveth, but as God giveth.
That's right.
Let your heart be troubled nor afraid.
Psalms 37, verse 38. But the transgressors shall be destroyed together.
What are they going to be?
Destroyed together.
Go ahead.
The end of the wicked shall be cut off.
So what is a transgressor?
Hey, it's 2:23. We got anybody else out there?
Yeah. Oh, they already wrong. Okay. So Romans 4:15 say where there's no law, there's no sin. So if the law is done away with, then there's no sin in the world. And if there's no sin and that doctrine is being taught, what you getting up ironing clothes for what? Why are you wasting your time getting up going out the house for what? To learn what? I mean, does that make any sense to you?
Don't make no sense.
What are you going to try to prove to your neighbor? What? Ain't no law. How you going to prove goodness unless you bring it back into the picture? But y'all, you can ask the common Sunday doctrine, what does transgression of the law mean? And what is it? And they ain't got a clue. Or ask them the other way around. What is sin? They haven't a clue what it is because it's man-made what they're talking about. They'll name things that are not even in the Bible and call it sin. You know you sinning drinking that, am I? You know you're sinning looking at that, am I? So y'all, we want to be perfect in this walk, y'all. And this don't mean like we're saying we want to make ourselves better than anybody. You know who we need to make ourselves better than? This verse. Read that again, 38. This is what we're trying to be perfect for. Read that again.
But the transgressors shall be destroyed together. The end of the wicked shall be cut off.
See, that's why we want to be perfect. Because if we ain't perfect, that's what's going to happen. And we done already seen the perfectness we talking about. If you fall, dust yourself off and get back up. And say, I'm going to try this again. But you can't give in to sin because you're going to lose your shame.
Right.
Once you lose your shame, you're going to reprobate. Anybody you hear, I ain't got no shame.
Defiled conscience.
Right. It's called a whore's forehead.
Ooh. Ooh.
That means she can be standing out on a bus stop at 12 noon in front of a grade school in a thong.
No shame, huh?
No shame.
Y'all foreheads look wrinkled behind that, boy.
Waiting for her bus to come up and pick her up. Kids pointing and looking, there's no shame. I'm talking about shame that we have to keep, that if you knew you grew up with somebody and they're a crack addict now on the street corner begging and they used to be the flyest guy in town.
Yeah.
When you look the other way so they can't see you, see they shame.
Yeah, that's shame, boy.
That's shame.
Sure is.
You don't even want them to see you're ashamed that they're in this position, y'all. But they have no more shame. They start to live for sin. You get up and you start to practice how to sin. That's the opposite of perfect. That's called wickedness. That's when you're practicing sin. When you film your sin. What you doing that for? But to study it and to show somebody else. What R. Kelly was doing with that film. Who he was showing that to? Dog, see, I told you, if you'd have drank that old E-boy, she'd have been bubbly. You'd have had a lot of suds. See, you drinking that Coke 45, dog. What is he filming it for?
Exactly.
It's an underage girl. This is my life. I'm going to the bench. I'm filming my wickedness to study it for what? But to get deeper into it.
Wow.
Now all my albums, 12 play. It ain't nothing but a number.
Down low.
Yeah. Mr. Big on the scene. You see how it's constantly just keep rolling and rolling and rolling until I become perfect in wickedness.
Come out the closet.
Yeah.
Said he's about to.
Yeah.
Said he's about to catch a case.
Boy.
Ron Isley said I'm about to catch a case.
So y'all, this is why we want to understand perfection. There's two sides of it, y'all.
Right.
You don't want to become perfect and wicked. Go ahead, let's just hit this move on while we're here. Psalm 139, because when we talk about hate, oh yeah, two more verses. Go ahead, finish that up. I'm sorry.
Verse 39.
What it say?
But the salvation of the righteous is of the Most High. He is their strength in the time of trouble. And the Most High shall help them and deliver them. He shall deliver them from the wicked and save them because they trust in him.
And y'all, that's true perfection when you truly have faith and you trust. Every one of these types, every miracle happened, they ask the first question, do you believe? Do you believe this?
Right.
If you don't believe it, you may want it to get back into wickedness. Your arm can be like this because you done something you ought not be doing. See, and if they get straightened out, yeah, I believe just to get it straightened out to go back and do what again? Get this one in that position? Psalm 139. Let's understand, because along with this perfect, you got to know how to hate perfectly. Now that sounds crazy to y'all, don't it? The Messiah said, if you don't hate your who? Your mother, your father, your children. See, Moses say, see, that's why I don't deal with that God of the Bible. Who would tell somebody to hate their own mama? See, that's what I'm... And you be wondering, man, that do sound kind of hard. Why would the Lord tell me to hate my mama? I love my mama.
That's right.
But you have to understand what's called perfect hatred. Is there such a thing on earth? Let's get that Psalm 139. 21, 22.
Yeah, that's
start backing up at 17. Read it on out. Psalm 139, y'all gonna get right into some Hebrews 5. And this gonna let us know our purpose. We're gonna get into a little Matthew 5 and 17, y'all. And we're gonna show the walk of a few individuals that was called perfect. And we're gonna deal with a few of them, Abraham, Noah. And we're going to deal with a few of these brothers, Job, so we get a clear understanding. And all of these men, you will see some things happening in their life that let you know they were tried. They didn't just get perfect slapped on them. They just went where you can say, oh, see, he was ordained from the womb. No, it don't go like that. Go ahead, brother.
Psalm chapter 139, verse 17. How precious also are thy thoughts unto me, O Yahweh. How great is the sum of them. If I should count them, they are more in number than the sand. When I awake, I am still with thee. Surely thou wilt slay the wicked, O Yahweh. Depart from me, therefore, ye bloody men.
See, and right here he said you will slay the wicked or kill. You got groups out here, you got to be careful. Israelite groups out here to say, I can't wait till the Lord let me murder all of these people and my auntie. I'm a murder all you black women. I'm a murder y'all too. And they are putting those two words with the Most High, murder. Murder is the shedding of innocent blood. That's right, right. The Most High ain't never on record talking about murdering nobody. I slay the wicked. I put them down. They deserve it. But shedding of innocent blood to what nation? To what nation? Did he ever slay or, murder them for transgressions? that would be setting them up with a free case and then killing them. That ain't on record nowhere.
Exactly. Why did he nuke Sodom and Gomorrah?
Right.
Just because, or was it because of their actions?
And that was before Mount Sinai.
That's right. That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
For they speak against thee wickedly, and thine enemies take thy name in vain.
What do they do?
Take thy name in vain.
Oh yeah, yo, it's that one up and coming in the clouds. That guy you're talking about. Oh, like they think it's a different God. In one breath they say, he the same yesterday as he is today in the church. And then in the next breath they'll say, oh, you talking about that God of the Old Testament. Like he's somebody that retired. They talking about you again. Oh, is they? The God of the Old Testament, they talking about me. No, he's truly the same today as he was yesterday. Ain't nothing changing with him. Go ahead, bro.
I hate them with perfect hatred.
What kind of hate?
Perfect hatred.
How do y'all think there's a such thing to be practiced? Perfect hatred. So when you understand what the Most High is saying, perfect hatred, it was to hate anybody that hate his laws, statutes, and judgment and hate righteousness. That's perfect hatred.
Did you skip 21, brother? Was that?
Read it again.
Do not I hate them, O Elohim, that hate thee.
Right.
I am not grieved with those that rise up against thee. I hate them with perfect hatred. I count them mine enemies.
See, so we can't have perfect hatred just hating a white man because of the crimes that's happening and not understand why we in this land. You can't hate until you understand that first, why we here. Our fathers have eaten sour grapes, but our teeth are on edge.
Right.
If y'all understand what that means, it's like a bad grape. You bite it and then you do like that. Your teeth get on edge because it's so sour. They bit, but we doing like this. We didn't commit none of them crimes in the land.
It's almost like you'll blast the heathen for what they doing wrong. But why you ain't talking about the serial killer down in Arizona?
That's right.
That just laid down some of his own. I mean, what's up? Just because he one of your people, you don't speak on him. He got to get blasted first.
That's right.
You feel me? Know what I said first. And then, the heathen, we don't mighty cuddle with them either. You going down for what you've done. You feel me? But if it's perfect hatred, no matter the skin tone, it gets addressed.
That's right.
If you an evil Negro, you're going to get called on it. You a devil. You see what I'm saying? Like the devil is a spirit. He's not limited to melanin content.
Right.
Or whether you have melanin or not.
Right.
Y'all know plenty of black devils in your life. You know plenty of people that look like us that did demonic stuff.
That's right.
In your own life. You feel me? So perfect hatred would be you're not a respective person. You feel me? If Daniel Solomon show up doing something evil, we got to call them.
That's right. Please do.
Not just because he's the elder.
Save me.
Man, we all love this brother. Of course we do. But brother, you off on that one. You feel me? Or any one of us. Like if it's perfect hatred, then it's like, look, if it's evil, period. Like we can't be promoting the black KKK.
That's right.
If what the Klan did was evil, then it's evil if you niggas do. If you did what the Klan did to anybody, that's evil as well. Perfect hatred. You got to balance it on out. If you want to hate evil and be perfect, then it don't even matter if it's one of your own. Matter of fact, they need to be getting blasted first.
Look, and a good test of that is as soon as somebody talk about the Klan and we say, is anybody out here worse than Judas Iscariot?
Oof.
Why does that go silent?
Oof.
Because he was a disciple and he was an Israelite.
And had spiritual power.
But what the Messiah say, it had been better that he what?
Not been born.
If you don't understand that first and you're looking at the white man or the Chinese man or the African who enslaved us first, and you ain't looked at Judas Iscariot and where he come from, do you know who burned the scrolls up?
Yeah. The Jehoiakim, king of Judah. He didn't even want to hear the prophecy. He's like, man, we burning the Bibles. The Lord had to prophesy on him again. You going down too. So that's what I'm saying. If it's evil, you got to speak on. If you're going to be blasting evil, Like we blast evil, you can't be prejudiced in it.
No, you can't.
If the Negro's evil, he get called on it too.
That's right.
If the man is evil, he get called on it. If the woman is evil, she get called on it. If it's evil across the board, if you're going to blast evil, you can't be biased.
And that's what's happening with the Black Lives Matter movement.
That's right.
That's all the heathen is just saying, wait a minute. Now, we may be doing some of them killings too in Chicago, but y'all doing a lot of them too.
Right.
Y'all doing a lot of them.
Right.
And we know that because we see what's happening around our neighborhood. We know what's going on. Now, out of the 207 murders we done had, we may be good for 150 of them. The police probably done a few other ones.
No, they have. You did. But why you ain't blasting these little Negroes?
Right.
Running through here. You understand? Why you ain't on them in the hood? Like, pull your pants up. What is y'all out here doing? You scared of them.
Right.
That's the problem. You scared. You scared of your own people.
That's the problem.
You feel me? But when I speak against Johnny Law, you dig? You got to be perfect in your hatred, period. That way, when it go down, you justify it.
And right, see, in that way,
mad.
You learn how to love your brother at this point because that's our drama. It's us, y'all, first. Then it's them. And majority of the time, we can't deal with them. Unless it's a one-on-one situation, a life or death situation. But all of us in here together, how many guns you think we got in here that we could make Donald Trump wave the white flag? All right. Oh, y'all, I'm through.
Nah, you ain't got
all y'all get reparations. I'm waving the white flag. Y'all the victors.
Victorize this bitch.
Hey, what Jake said last week, you can't even get them to the negotiating table.
Right.
Let alone, you feel me, win this war. So you ain't making no noise.
Our war is to love our brother, to show them that we can do this thing. The thing, y'all, don't y'all understand this thing? What the Messiah is talking about is Cain and Abel. He said at the beginning, it was messed up. We got to get it back to there, that we're in paradise. We know how to do this because if we don't, we're going to be just like we was in paradise. Throw it out again. But it's to outer darkness this time. And eternal damnation in flames, y'all.
Weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Weeping and gnashing of teeth, y'all. We don't want that. We can't practice for that. So to prevent us from going on this condemnation 24/7 to each other, we got to learn this truth and understand perfect hatred. Starting with ourselves first. And what this means, do you love your mother? You can't love them more. Meaning your mama can't stop the death angel when he knocks on the door. Who your mama gonna go to? When the doctor say y'all gotta make a decision, we gonna turn this machine off. Is your mama saying, turn it off? I got holy breath in me. I'll breathe in them, you'll see. Or do she go looking for the chapel? Or look to the clouds and say, Lord have mercy, I know he ain't the best son, but take me. No, that don't sound like nobody. So that's what he said. How you gonna put that trust in her and she need me to keep living? She ain't controlling her brother. Brother did an excellent class last week on the DNA and understanding the blood and the soul and the life. Blood without oxygen is a dead individual.
All it is.
And you can't live off of synthetic oxygen forever. It's gonna wear you out, just like being on medicine all the time. If you just on oxygen, it's just a matter of time before it runs out. But when that oxygen leaves blood, because blood is the life, right? So if blood ain't living, what's gonna happen to the individual? If you don't ever change the oil in your car, what's gonna happen? It'll start knocking, ain't it? Throw a rod, and we just seen some of them come through the hood of a car. Yeah. It's like an aneurysm.
Yeah, boy.
Where we at, bro? We finished that?
Verse 23.
What it say?
Search me.
Do what?
Search me, O Yahweh, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts.
If you ain't down in your understanding up here, don't ask the Most High to do this. When it's more than a notion to about the Lord know my heart. Yes, he does. Don't ask him to search that wickedness that you ain't repented for. That you done lost your shame for. Now I know what that Bible say, but I got to have me some hog mogs. Now look, that's that old God, but he ain't caring about you eating no scrimps. And then the second coming says, when I come back and that's on your breath, you can't say, hey Lord, to me and belching swine on your breath. Go ahead, where we at?
Verse 24. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting.
See, so he's asking the Lord to try him. So the Lord can point out, there's a wicked way right there. So he can be led into everlasting. Try me. That's what you gonna ask him for if you want that. Lord, show me where I'm off at. Right there. Get that together. That's hospital gown doctrine right here. You all front and no back. Y'all know how that is. Somebody get up out the hospital bed, rear end ashy like they've been sitting in flour. You be like, dang. Man, why won't he tie it up? And just watch him walk to the bathroom and you trying to look at the TV. Like, oh, your rear end man, tie this up. And they got pajamas. All front and no back, y'all. Let's get it. When we finish that up, Hebrews chapter 5. Y'all, we're gonna speed it up just a bit. Anybody got any questions so far? Go ahead. Hosea, go ahead.
Put this on the board, y'all. Everybody read these lost books.
Yes, sir.
Chapter 21. Abraham giving his 9 words to Isaac, telling him how to avoid sin. And the Testament of Israel, chapter 6 and 7. It's called the Kings of Life.
Yeah.
Israel said he died, he was 122 years old.
Yes, sir.
He said he was 122 years old when he died, and he didn't remember sinning not once. So that's some good goals.
Some good goals. And if you think about his connection with Rachel and Leah, you'll understand what Brother just said in the Testament of the 12 Patriarchs. When you read about Issachar giving his message to his son.
Issachar chapter 6 and 7.
Yeah.
It goes into detail of all the things that he did not do in his life. How he pleased the Lord all until his dying.
And y'all, a lot of times when and what he's speaking of is unconscious sins as well. You know, and that's the main thing, because Issachar sinned. But what we're talking about is when it was pointed out to him, you know, you shouldn't have did that. What? Okay, that won't happen again. So a lot of times, so he's not saying that will make Issachar the same as the Messiah. He's not saying that from a perspective. It's like what the key words he said, Issachar said, I don't know the sins that I committed like that, because whatever he did, he was on it. It wasn't a repeat what he's saying. Wasn't no 2 times for this man when he walked. Once you told him that's what it was that. We're going to get into a little bit of that up in the New Testament when the Messiah talk about Nathan, an Israelite indeed. We're going to get some understanding of that in 144,000. Then you're going to understand this perfected walk. You think the Lord going to give you a sword to kill all the nation, and you hate a white police because he pulled you over with them bad stickers? See, that's what I'm talking about, man. They can't ride. I'm on my way to the OJ's concert, and they pulling me over. How you dressed up like that with bad stickers coming down there with a police directing traffic? I can't stand it. I want to kill all my people. About that. That's not perfect hatred. You done blew them OJ's tickets. That's all. Where we at?
You're in Hebrews chapter 5.
Yes, sir. Start about 12.
Reading from the book of Hebrews.
And y'all, if y'all ain't caught up, just holler it out, y'all, because we have to read together. Tell you what, back that up. Start verse 1 on that.
1?
Yeah.
We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, starting at verse 1.
And y'all, this is another perfection walk we're talking about when Paul is talking about the law. And he said that law under Aaron made nothing perfect. A lot of non-messianics are people that think he's throwing a stone at the law. Because it said it made nothing perfect. You have to understand that was a law or a priesthood that was going on. The laws are the same. We still can't steal, can we? So if the law is done away with, it should be no problem getting your credit card and charging up a bunch of stuff. Should be no problem when you turn your back, slip my hand in your pocket and get some, if the law is done away with. But what Paul is talking about is that priesthood. Under the direction of the law, that's going to phase out. But the laws remain the same. The priesthood is the only thing that changed. If you don't know the difference between Aaron and Melchizedek, if you say Aaron is gone, good, we're not under the schoolmaster. What high priest are we under now, and what's the order? Boy, God loves everybody. What is that you talking? Melchizedek or who? Boy, I don't know. You must be in some kind of cult. And Melchizedek all throughout this Bible. Go ahead, let's read it, brother.
Reading in the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 1.
What it say?
It says, for every high priest taken from among men is ordained for men in things pertaining to Yah, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sin.
For what?
For sin.
So what is sin? So he have to offer sacrifices and gifts for sin, for transgressions of the law. Now, if the law is done away with, what they tithing for? What you offering gifts for? Ain't no sin. If the law is gone, where there's no law, there's no sin. Romans 4:15. What you got, brother? How you give it to them? And that's a question they'll ask too. Do the commandments. He say it's gift enough. It's sacrifice enough. It's tithing enough. If you keep the law, he say that's good enough for me. You ain't got to do nothing else. If you keep the law, you done showed everybody around you how to live in the kingdom. That's gifts enough for me. See, if you just give money, you may be fat. You may can just pull out some money and don't understand it and showing off for somebody. Pull out a 50, see, I'm going to give this to the homeless, brother. I'm going to show you how I do my alms. Here you go, brother. Go buy you something to eat. Now, you see, brother, you. But if they see him keeping the law and see that brother in that situation and tell him, no, brother, I can't give you any money. I'll go in there and buy you something. That'll be good for your soul if you say you're hungry. Or if you give it to him, you can't dictate what he's going to do with it. If he say he's hungry, you can't say, and you better not buy no whiskey with it. You can't dictate the gift. If he tell you he's hungry and he go eat liquor, then that's a whole different subject. That's on his soul. All you did what the sign say. I'm hungry. I need a couple dollars. At that point, it don't matter what he do with the money. Long as you know what your conscience for was. I'm going off of what your sign say. Your sign is how he will be judged. So I can't live off another man's conscience and wonder if, no, I'm going to circle the block and see what he going to do. It's a Hardee's right here in this J&J liquor store right here. Oh, watch this, man. I bet he go up in there. If you got to go through all that, keep your money in your pocket. Let's read some more.
Like the Impartiality, there was a situation where the brother was telling another brother, try your brother to see if he's, a believer of the Lord before you help him. You know what I mean? So, in essence, when we start the, hey brother, you got $2? I asked, who is the Messiah? Do you believe in the Messiah? You did? Because I don't want to give my money to somebody of a Satanistic mindset.
Well, the only problem with like that, we got the Good Samaritan. And a man laid on the road with his head bust open to the white meat. 2 Pharisees walked right past him and a Levite. Looked at him and walked past. Another Israelite walked past and like, man, you got knocked out. But somebody from another nation, we don't know what his faith or belief is, but he had belief in mankind shouldn't suffer like that. He picked him up, bound him up, took him up to a hotel and told him, I'm gonna give you 2 days of money. I got to go to town. When I pass back through this way, if he had to stay day 3, I'll pay you all that money too. So that's where we, you know, that got to come into play too. You know, so he rained righteousness on the just and the unjust. So the wicked always has a chance to turn around. That's why he say a living dog is better than a what? As long as you got breath in your body, you still got a shot. What you got, bro?
It might turn him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's all we're talking about, is that you see somebody actually, they care about me enough to do this for me and ain't leaving me in the gut. Now that's why I brought that up about the Good Samaritan, because these were high priests, fringes on, walking with that scroll, that Torah scroll, and walk right past the man with his busted head. Or the same way with the woman that had the issue of blood for 12 years. It says she spent every dime she had. And guess who she spent it with? They like, now look, sister, you done been here 3 times. We done tried everything.
How much more money you got?
Right. Now I heard brother talking about he got some stop leak stuff he done invented the other day. But it's gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you. How much it gonna cost, man? Got number 2 for the level. Give us that then. Yeah, we sick of you. And as soon as she see the Messiah and her faith is whole, and she reached out and touched the hem of his garment, he say, who touched me? And they say, Lord, how we know? Everybody is touching and reaching and grabbing. He said, no, I felt healing leave me. And she was made whole, not that month, not that year, but that same second. It dried up. And she was made whole. Y'all, no treatment programs. All they offer is treatment programs now. We're talking about being made whole, being made perfect. Let's read some more. Where we at?
We're in the book of Hebrews, chapter 5, verse 2.
What it say?
It says, who can have compassion on the ignorant?
Y'all see what we're talking about right now? Who gonna have compassion on the ignorant? Go ahead.
And on them that are out of the way, for that he himself also is compassed with infirmity.
See, so the key word here is ignorant. We look at that because we've been only taught ignorant means you just extremely stupid. You the cousin of Jethro Bodine. I'm talking about you Curly Stooges uncle. I'm talking about pure stupidity. That's how we look at ignorant, but all ignorant means is without knowledge of a subject. Who can have compassion on those without knowledge of a subject? See, we have to have compassion for every question Sister Matt, and I'm not just pointing at you, sis. Anybody in here. We have to have compassion on her without knowledge of the subject matter that we're talking about, and that's the day of the Lord. That was the subject matter. It don't mean she's stupid. It means she was without knowledge of what we're talking about, the second coming of the Lord. It's going to be like the recreation of the world, the same exact way. Y'all understand what he said? All things are lawful. Because it may not be expedient for you to do it yet. You may not be up to par yet for you to take this on. Let's read some more. That's right.
We're in verse 3. And by reason hereof he ought, as for the people, so also for himself, to offer for sin.
So this is telling you about the high priest. He like, look, when he go into the holies of holies, it ain't just for your sin, it's for his too. Who he think he is? He can go to the holy of holies and you gonna just say, well, Lord, them out there. We're going to get a little of Matthew 5 and 17 or that parable too with the 2 men went in the temple to pray. Y'all make sure I get that. Y'all gonna understand this perfectly. Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 3. Wait, I'm tripping. Verse 4. And no man taketh his honor unto himself, but he that is called of Yah, as was Aaron. So also Hamashiach glorified not himself to be made an high priest, but he that said unto him, Thou art my son, today have I begotten thee. As he said also in another place, Thou art a priest forever, after the order of Melchizedek.
Now, all of us was in Sunday doctrine. What did this ever mean to anybody? Who is Melchizedek? What is the order of Melchizedek? And this is talking about Christ and saying he's after that priesthood. If you don't have a clue with that, you're not understanding how to give him a gift, how to sacrifice. You ain't got a clue because you don't understand. It started off showing you the high priest Aaron, but he had fault. We're at a greater high priest now that never had faults, that can go in there for you because he ain't got nothing on his jacket. Do y'all know Aaron in 25 chapter of Numbers and 20th verse was court-martialed and put to death, and it was told why he was being put to death for what you and Moses did when y'all struck that rock. It's time for you to die.
Right.
And they snatched his clothes off him, slick sleeve, court-martial, put his clothes on his son, go over there and die.
Stripped him from his priestly garments.
But this priest, after this order, done already proved. That's why the veil rent, and you could see back there where the high priest used to go, where we couldn't see back there. That tore in half so you can look back there. We're out of that priesthood. True what they're saying, we're not under the schoolmaster, but when you say the law is done away with, that's the most dangerous thing on earth you can ever say, because what you're saying is what governs us to get us into the kingdom, we can't find it and we ain't gonna even practice it no more. Do what thou will. You want to have your way, you want to marry a chicken or a horse, do it. We're not under the law. You're a grown man and you like to wear women's clothes, do it. The God of the Old Testament, he's no longer around. Let's read some more.
We're in verse 7. Who in the days of his flesh, when he had offered up prayers and supplications with strong crying and tears unto him that was able to save him from death, and was heard in that he feared. Though he were a son, yet learned he obedience.
What did he learn?
Obedience by the things which he suffered. And being made perfect, he became the author of eternal salvation unto all them that obey him. Called of Yah and high priest.
What was he called?
A high priest.
See, and this is what we're talking about. If you don't understand Christ is a high priest, and it compares it to Aaron, something that you can look at tangible and understand high priest function. That's the only thing changed in the law. We switched to a different high priest. But that was already talked about in the law, Deuteronomy 18. Another high priest coming. Whole different order, way up here. John the Baptist said, whose shoes I'm not worthy to tie up. He gonna baptize you with fire and the Holy Spirit. This water baptism I'm doing, that fire will lick this water up. It's that same fire when Elijah told him, fill that basin up with water. And called fire from heaven, licked up all the water, burnt up both of them. See, that's what we're talking about. Fire that will consume water. You can't put this fire out with water. The man in Luke 16 said, go back. If you just dip your tongue, dip your finger, just let that drip fall on me. You know what that drip gonna be like? when you're cooking hot dogs and the water boil over and that piece of water hit the stove, what it do? And evaporate, don't it? Gone like good candy. Where we at?
Verse 10 again.
Yeah.
Called of Yah and high priest after the order of Melchizedek, of whom we have many things to say, and hard to be uttered, seeing ye are dull of hearing.
What are we dull of?
Dull of hearing.
Y'all, it's like you on an airplane and we in full, my ears need the pop mode all day. Every day, 364 days a year, we in my ears need the pop mode. Dull of hearing. If you got a knife dull of cutting, what does that mean? Bread gonna be raggedy, ain't it? Cheese gonna be lopsided. I'm just talking about some of y'all that grew up in my area where government cheese was on the record. A dull knife would have it thick, this thick on one end, this thin on the other end. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 12. For the time ye ought to be teaching.
Right.
Ye have need that one teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yah, and are become such as have need of milk, and not of strong meat. For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness.
What are they?
Unskillful in the word of righteousness.
If you say the law is done away with, you are unskillful in the word of righteousness. How you going to prove righteousness? How do I know I'm coveting if there's no law? How I know I'm stealing if there's no law? How do I know if I'm bearing false witness or serving a God other than who I'm required to if there's no law?
Right, exactly.
How is it possible to know that?
You ain't got no instructions.
You grown with milk crust around here. Need a pacifier. Need a passing. It'd be the same thing you see a grown man sitting in the church sucking on a pacifier. Go ahead, finish that verse. Read that verse again for me, brother.
For everyone that useth milk is unskillful in the word of righteousness, for he is a babe.
What is he?
He is a babe. But strong meat belongeth to them that are of full age, even those who by reason of use have their senses exercised to discern both good and evil.
So what are their senses? Exercise. Y'all, do y'all understand this? We exercise our body. We'll go to the gym and we'll get all this, but do we exercise our senses? Who in the gym of senses? I'm talking about, I'll be your spotter. Come on, give me some more of that. Quote that Isaiah for me again, bro. I got you, I'm spotting you. Y'all, we build the outer cup up, but yet we ain't doing no exercises for this. This got love handles on it. It's so out of shape, it can't fit nothing no more. Y'all, I'm talking about getting this in shape. So you don't be like you are in this flesh where you looking in the closet for what you can fit versus what you can wear. Damn, I can't fit. Oh. Ain't no need putting them on unless I got a shirt down to my kneecaps because I got to leave my butt. Matthew chapter 5. Y'all, we're going to speed this up. We ain't got but a couple more. And then we're going to get into this perfectness of man, y'all. We'll close on out of here. But y'all, we got to get some understanding. If you don't have this law, if you don't know this law, if you've been taught to, you are going to be ignorant without knowledge of a subject of how to dwell in the kingdom. You're going to be without understanding of something you hoping for that ain't going to never exist for you. There's no death there. What causes death now?
Sin. Which means there won't be no sin there.
Where we at?
Matthew
chapter 5. Y'all, and this is a lot of times you may hear this is called the Sermon on the Mount. If you start at verse 1 of this, but this is the Messiah introducing back the old version, so to speak, of the order of Melchizedek and its rules. It's the same thing in Leviticus 19. Y'all don't get it twisted. It's the same thing, but it's understanding because now you're adding mercy with the judgment. Under Aaron's law, you got caught, it wasn't no mercy. He did what? What are two witnesses at? Get the rocks.
He's done.
He did what? He said the world gonna end in 2000.
False prophecy, he's done.
Now we take that liberty. Negroes out of New York talking about, oh, that false prophecy was meant to be, because if it had to been, you brothers would have never got the truth. How about these brothers would have been born in the kingdom if truth had been told? But they mollycock these false prophets because they choose to believe a lie. When the year 2000, when that ball dropped, and that's what they was basing it off of, a Gregorian calendar that they was teaching against. They up on the roof with knapsacks, waiting for a spaceship to come get it, and was up there till the sun came up. That's a long walk back down them steps, and I don't care how you slice it. That's a false prophecy if you up there with a knapsack.
That's that great mile walk, boy.
What you gonna do with them clothes?
Huh? Yeah, that's the main thing. Where we at, bro?
We're in the book of Matthew
5, y'all, and y'all seeing and understand what he did, how he mirrored Moses. Moses went up to Mount Sinai. Messiah's up on the Mount of Olives. Getting these instructions, giving them to the disciples. This is how you get. Y'all read 1 through 16. We're going to start right at verse 17.
Oh, right on the board, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, 13 through 16. All right,
Wisdom of Solomon?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1.
Okay.
Verse 13 through 16.
Okay.
God didn't make it call to our city.
Right. Absolutely. Wisdom, y'all, it's called the Wisdom of Solomon. And y'all, but we're going to get into into some 1 Kings where it was said that Solomon's heart was not what? Perfect, as was his father's David. Both of them had women problems, but why was Solomon's heart not perfect like his father David? Y'all understanding now? I'm talking about the wisest man that ever lived on earth that still talked about. Wisdom slipped because he slipped off the commandments.
Yep, and had no repentance.
Where we at?
We're reading in the book of Matthew, chapter 5, starting at verse 17.
Yes, sir.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
So, right here, when you hear the term, see, the law is done away. He fulfilled the law. Y'all can just ask a simple question. What about the prophets? Ain't that what it say? The law or
The prophet.
Let's talk about the prophets. Can we talk about prophet Isaiah 66 chapter? Can we talk about the prophet Zechariah the 14th chapter? Can we talk about the prophet Joel, which are all second coming prophets?
Right, it ain't happening.
He didn't fulfill the second coming.
And so we should be in the kingdom.
We should be in the kingdom.
And we ain't.
Read some more, bro.
I ain't even listening to the first thing he said. He said, think not.
Think not.
Right.
Not, think not.
And what is that? What does thinking start?
You sure all right about that, Uzziah, boy?
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 18.
What does it say?
It says, for verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
He said not one dot over an I, not one cross of a T if we're looking at it in our understanding today. not one of those will pass till what be fulfilled? All. Don't all include the second coming. Don't all include the marriage supper of the Lamb. Don't all include death and hell being cast in the lake of fire. He said until that happens, because that's when you're going to see a new heaven and a new earth. When that happens, he says, so if you still see the same sun that we've been under since day 4 of creation, then the law still stands. And if you think Paul taught any way opposite of that, then y'all lying on Paul. Paul ain't never told you that. Hold that, man. We're going to hit a little bit of Acts 24:14. Y'all just grab these one-liners for me, Acts 28. And just hit them 2 real quick so that you can hear this from Paul and we don't start putting Paul against the Messiah. Do you know people are actually looking at Paul as greater than the Messiah? When Paul said, was I crucified for y'all? Did I take them licks across the jawbone and my beard pulled off for y'all? Did I suffer on that cross, drowning in my own blood in my lungs for y'all? Did I do that? And y'all want to try to put Paul up there over the Messiah. And this in red. Ain't none of Paul's writings in red. What you got? We going now. You in the same spot. Your mind on the same spirit. We're going to that piece, but hang on to it. But hit this Acts real quick for me. 24:14 and Acts 28. And we'll get the understanding of what Paul's mind was, what he said, how he studied the matter.
Acts chapter 24, verse 14.
What it say?
But this I confess unto thee, that after the way which they call heresy, so worship I the God of my father, believing all things.
Believing half the thing.
Believing all things.
Believing just what I feel like.
Believing all things which are written in the law and in the prophets.
Where are they written at? You see how he dealing with both of them? He says the law and the prophets. Now it's the same Paul that they'll run to and say, we under grace now. Well, y'all got a problem with this. If y'all believe it like that, then y'all believe in a contradictory artist. Read verse 15 for me.
And have hope toward Yahweh, which they themselves also allow, that there shall be a resurrection of the dead, both of the just and unjust. So no matter what you think, Paul still said that there's going to be a resurrection of the dead, of the just and the unjust. 28 and 20. Can we get verse 16? You want to hear verse 16? Go ahead, 16. And herein do I exercise myself to have always a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men.
Yeah, 28 and 20. Same book of Acts. And if y'all ain't got there, slow us down. We understand it. If you don't get behind, just turn to the index. It'll lead you right to the page number. But we have to read together everything we have to do together because we are body. The body has to know what everything is doing. And I hate to use this analogy, but it's one we can understand. If you out there trying to electric slide on that Mariah Carey and don't know what you're doing, when it's super fast part comes, you're going to destroy everything. They're going to be trying to spin you and move and you messing up and somebody like, why don't you get off the floor? That's the way it'll be in the kingdom with no law. You'll be bumping into things. You'll be running into this because you don't know how to spin. When they say left, you're going right. Let's get it.
Acts chapter 28, verse 20.
What it say?
For this cause, therefore, have I called for you, to see you and to speak with you, because that for the hope of Israel I am bound with this chain.
For the hope of who?
Israel.
See, this is the hope of Israel, that we come back to the top, that the cream rise back to the top. This is Paul's whole message. For the hope of Israel, I'm bound with a chain. I'm hooked to y'all. Y'all, this is why we have to love. We hooked to each other. We all we got. And how we gonna do us like we want to do the other nations? 24/7 condemnation with each other. Look at Facebook, y'all. Look, if we get 20 calls on the radio, 19 of them about our family members. Very rarely do you hear, yeah, my supervisor at the job, but it's instructions about that. But my mama, who I live with, and my brother, I can't stay in the same house. How we gonna do this in the same house down here? Man, here this nigga come. Watch him go right for the potato chip. Watch and see what I say. How? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 21, and they said unto him, we neither received letters out of Judea concerning thee, neither any of the brethren that came showed or spake any harm of thee. But we desire to hear of thee what thou thinkest. For as concerning this sect, we know that everywhere it is spoken against.
So Paul, they was telling Paul, look, man, we don't know nothing about what you saying, but you talking about this Messiah, man. All the high priests, they talking against this, man. You know, this heresy, man, we hear. Messiah here? The high priest ain't said no such thing. Go ahead, bro.
And when they had appointed him a day, there came many to him unto his lodging, to whom he expounded and testified the kingdom of Yahweh, persuading them concerning Yahweh Shah.
So who was he persuading them concerning?
Yahweh Shah.
See, that's first off the bat, because they wasn't believing in the Messiah. Even though it's been prophesied, they didn't want him to be born. Why? Because it's going to stop that money train. Please don't tell me you're here yet. Yeah, that mansion on layaway. Boy, have y'all seen that new chariot I got on 24s a year? Go ahead, bro.
Both out of the law of Moses and out of the prophets, from morning till evening.
How long?
From morning till evening.
He's in the law and the prophets from morning, and we're talking about from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Or it could have been from morning, 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. again. All day talking about the law and the prophets, because it will be all day. If we didn't have to cut this off, y'all, we could be here to midnight. Easy. Easy. Because the word quicken. Hours fly by in this. And this is how fast he wants you to understand your life is but a vapor. Before you know it, you'll be 70 if you blessed. When you get 36, you coming down the mountain. Your steps got to be accordingly at this point. No false move. You got to think wisely. Your mind got to be correct. 35, you're at the top of the promises. You're promised 70 years of life if you obey. 36, you're right here. 37, 38, 39, 40, the generation of a man. You should know which direction you're going at this point. Not saying there ain't gonna be no pitfalls, but you at least know the direction I'm going. If you keep looking back, a man that's 50 years old keep talking about he's 25 when he was 25 has lost 25 years of life. You ain't never going back to that. You ain't gonna never run that fast again. You ain't gonna never jump that high unless you become immortal and be resurrected into that kingdom. And then you're gonna do greater things than that. Way greater things than that. You want to be over right now? We here in America, and I'll be in Egypt like this, sitting up just like this, that quick. That's what's going to be granted to you. Moving like that. Here 1 second and gone like Philip was. Caught up in the spirit, next thing you know, he over here. How'd that happen? Same thing happened with Elijah. Here 1 second, then over here the next. And they knew that that was quickening of the spirit because they sent men 3 counties over. Go look for him over there. He may be over here. Right. And they went searching for him. Right. We know how that spirit will quicken and time travel you real quick. Now, sister, that's still in the same flesh though. The whole body moves in. Not just your mental. The whole body moves in that next realm when you called up, so to speak. Like Elijah and Enoch was. Where we at?
Verse 24. And some believed the things which were spoken, and some believed not.
See, so, go ahead, but read on down to 30. It's very important.
And when they agreed not among themselves, they departed. After that, Paul had spoken one word. Well spake the Holy Ghost by Isaiah the prophet unto our father, saying, go unto this people, and say, hearing ye shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing ye shall see, and not perceive. For the heart of this people is waxed gross.
What is it, wax?
Gross. And their ears are dull of hearing.
See, when your heart wax gross, it's like any baked chicken or anything you cook, and then the next morning, that gel around it, that's when your heart wax gross. Just full of fat and no circulation. Clogs up your arteries, don't it? That's waxing gross. Because it looks like wax, don't it? Melted wax. Go ahead, bro.
And their ears dull of hearing.
And their ears what?
Dull of hearing.
So we got the pop ears too. Now you can't see nor hear. Because of what? Don't want to keep the law. Go ahead, bro.
And their eyes have they closed, lest they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them.
We can hold right there. So y'all, we see Paul talk from the law and the prophets all day and all night. Some believed and some didn't believe. Y'all, so even we have to understand that everybody you talk to ain't gonna believe.
That's right.
Ain't nothing you can do about that. You can't force them. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Right. If you do make them drink, he's just gonna be a puppet, waiting on his water for you to bring it to him. You're gonna have to go down to the creek and get it. You're gonna have to haul it back. You're gonna have to open his mouth up like that. You're gonna have to pour it down. You got to do him like this so he can swallow right. And do him like this so it go down in his belly. Thanks you. You can't keep doing that. We can't keep doing that. This is a self-sufficient program that makes sure you can stand on your own because you're going to be judged on your own. Pastor say, you see what pastor is right now? You see the bubbling of pastor over there. The bubble. Pastor already in the fire. Hold that, man, so we get some understanding of this. Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 14, and then just hit verse 20. Y'all, we're going to run through these last few, y'all. We're going to get on out of here, but I need to get into these perfect men, so to speak. Start 14. Just hit that so we get some clear understanding, then hit verse 20. It's going to give us some clear understanding. We ain't going to be able to count on nobody but yourself. Y'all, that's your soul in your body. That's your soul you accountable for. I'm not responsible for your soul. The only thing I'm responsible for as a brother is to warn you and you warn me of defamation to my soul or to your soul. That's our job. We ain't been given nothing more or less. Go preach the good news, and the good news is Look out for your soul, because it's going to be judged. Hit that for me, man. Ezekiel 14:14.
Ezekiel chapter 14, verse 14.
What it say?
Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own soul.
But whose soul?
But their own soul. By their righteousness.
By their what?
By their righteousness.
See, we can't ride off of nobody else's righteousness. Off of your own law keeping, you gonna roll. Go ahead.
Says the Most High Yahweh.
Read, you skip down to verse 20.
Verse 14 and 20. Though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it.
Talking about the world.
As I live, says the Most High Power, they shall deliver neither son nor daughter. They shall but deliver their own souls by their righteousness.
See, so you have to understand this, y'all, when he's saying if you don't hate mother, brother, man, if you put yourself in a position that you'll gamble your soul because of your mother or whatever, they may be into something they ought not be into. Lord, if you're going to take my mama, you might as well take me too, then. Because my mama can't do no wrong. You can have that mindset if you want to. You wasn't around when your mama was 17.
Big mama used to be little mama.
Right. Right. Some of us in here conception drive-in babies. Made at the movies. And you talking about who can't do wrong. Let's get right to it, y'all. 1 Peter. That's right. At one time. But we have to mature, y'all. We have to mature in this walk. Started off verse 13. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13. We're going to read down to 15, then we're going to jump. We're going to hit a couple one-liners. We're going to match that right up with Leviticus 19 and 2. So you can see this is after the Messiah, that he's saying the same exact thing that's written in the law. We just got a different high priest, y'all. That's the only difference Paul was just telling us. All Paul was saying is there's a new sheriff in town. And his law comes with mercy and justice that you can't take for granted. Noah found grace. Grace ain't just started with Paul. Noah found grace. David found grace. Hezekiah found grace. The Lord let him live. The death angel was at the door. And the Lord gave him 15 more years to live. Y'all don't think that's a long time, do you? But I guarantee you, when you're on the deathbed and everybody's standing around 15 minutes, you will beg for it to stay around here. Especially when you know you finna meet the king of the universe. And he got everything you done, starting from the thought process. Not when your hands got there, but how you thought it out up here. Yeah, then I'm gonna go over here and last time I almost got caught when I did that, so I'm gonna go this way. That's what's gonna be judged. The thought process. What made you think evil? Go ahead, bro. 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13.
Book of 1 Peter chapter 1, verse 13.
What it say?
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind.
Do y'all see this where you have to gird up and get strength on the what of your mind?
Loins of your mind.
See, this clears your mind of sexual intercourse with other gods.
Yeah.
You got to be strapped up there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when he talk about in Ephesians 6 and 9. Gird your loins with what?
Truth.
Truth. Why do you think he wants truth right there? Because we had to gird those same loins for sin in the garden. What do you think they girded their loins for? What did they cover up?
Right.
If she ate an apple, did he make cloth right there? Was they like that?
No, she put aprons over her.
Where they put the aprons at?
Over her private, no.
So it's saying, Gird the loins of your mind with truth first, so you then don't commit the physical act. Get rid of it up here first. Then you won't have to be like, damn, I should have followed my first what? Mind. Okay, go ahead, bro.
Wherefore, gird up the loins of your mind. Be sober.
Be what?
Sober. And hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought unto you at the revelation of Jesus Christ.
So it said be sober up here. This means I don't care what you partaking in. If anything have you like this, if somebody, how the Messiah coming? Can he come back? I'm tired. If you ain't sober, you're not aware. No matter what you're doing, it can't get past I lose the awareness.
Right.
Whatever you're doing. If you sipping to the point and you know one more and you step like you stepping in fence post hole, cause it's a full drink of hen privilege, you got to set it down.
What you be drinking, boy?
Yeah, when I can afford it. Usually around income tax time. But if you can't set that down and you stepping in fence post holes, that's gonna be a problem because you're gonna say, well, I can't waste a good liquor. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in this temple. And then you get behind the wheel of that car and you just all over the highway. And they pull you over. Can you say your ABC?
You start saying Hebrew letters.
Couldn't say them when I was in school, officer. Just take me on the bridge. Ain't no need me fooling myself. And they asking you to say them backwards. I can't say them backwards now.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse 14. As obedient children.
As what?
Obedient children. Not fashioning yourselves according to the former lusts in your ignorance. But as he which hath called you is holy.
Is what?
Holy. So be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
Read that next verse for me.
Because it is written.
What is it?
Written. Be ye holy, for I am holy. And if you call on the Father, who without respect of persons judges according to every man's work, pass the time of your sojourn in her infer.
Y'all see that? So when you ask the Father, y'all, this ain't no God of the Old Testament like they try to make him, like he don't exist no more. Y'all, this our Father. Ain't on record once about being a deadbeat dad.
That's right.
Ain't never been put on child support. It's a daddy you can count on that's gonna be there. Show where he been a deadbeat. Show where he didn't show up at the first game you had or whatever. He ain't been there. Where that's on record at in here?
Right, that he done failed you.
That he done failed you. Read some more.
Verse 18. For as much as ye know that ye were not redeemed with corruptible things, as silver and gold, from your vain conversation, received by tradition from your fathers, but with the precious blood of the Messiah, right, as of a lamb without blemish. Without what? Blemish. And without spot.
Do you know it's camps out there that teach that Christ was born with a blemish? That him and Mary got together before it was time. That makes him a blemished lamb. Because they don't want to believe the supernatural Holy Spirit overshadowing Mary and impregnating her. They want it to be Joseph. Shalom, y'all. They want it to be Joseph so bad that they will put a stain on the Messiah. Shalom, Brother Martin. Do y'all understand what we're saying at this point? And because it ain't in the scripture, they start ad-libbing to it. They are actually, you hearing a lesson. So Mary went through Judea to the hill country to Elizabeth. Guess who else lived in Judea? And all of them like parrots holler out, Joseph! So that means that she stopped off and completed a BC before she moved on to Elizabeth's house. A booty call. They actually believe that that's what happened with the Messiah coming into this world. He was born the same way some of us could have been, at the drive-in or a late night or a one-night stand.
She said she couldn't control herself.
She couldn't control herself.
She got hot through that thing on Joseph. That's what the one brother, well, they can't call him a brother. That's that one guy was saying.
And not once. And talk about Moses, but ain't got a clue how Moses was birthed.
Boy, tell him.
Ain't got a clue about Moses' mama and his dad and the law. We ain't gonna get into that though right now. Let's read some more.
Verse 20. Who verily was foreordained before the foundation of the world, but was manifest in these last times for you, who by him do believe in Yah, that raised him from the dead and gave him glory, that your faith and hope might be in Yah.
You can hold that, man. Let's get right to 1 Tim chapter 3 and 2. And y'all, and what I'm doing now, I'll tell you what, let's get right to the point of it. 6 and 9, I want to show these men, because we're still dealing with perfect. I want you to see what caused them to be perfect. We're just going to hit a couple one-liners, Genesis 6 and 9, Genesis 17 and 1, then we're going to do Job 1, and we're going to deal with these men who were called perfect. Y'all, and all perfect means they practice the law. And when they talk about the law, the first thing they do is include first, I'm short of the glory. I'm not worthy to be in the kingdom. I know it. I know it already. I know I'm not. But I'm going to try. I'm going to have hope that if the Lord is with me, if I keep these commandments, he said he will be with me. But he ain't going to be with you if you don't keep them. And what we're talking about is when your practice start to be, I'm sorry, not because I broke the law, but because I got caught.
Because I got a guilty conscience.
Absolutely. See, when you sorry because you got caught, that means down the line your wheels already turning on how I can do it again. You locked up for burglary and you talking to a man, you like, man, yeah, I went through the manual, man. I used to work and I cut the orange. Why, no, man. Right. They changed that. They using the 3000 SC5. It's the green wire. And instead of you saying, I'm not going to stop stealing, you saying, so it's the green wire, huh? Well, I get parole next week. Right. And here you go to cut the green wire. You back in jail. What happened? Man, they're on the 6,654, man. It's the pink wire now.
I mean, look, we got to be careful, though, because, like, practicing sin is not only planning to sin, but it's actually apologizing for the sin before you commit it. That's still practicing sin.
Absolutely.
You apologizing to God before you commit the act that you apologizing for.
Can't do it.
What is that?
Can't do it.
Premeditated. And you can't get away with that on this round.
Practicing sin.
Yeah. Genesis 6 and 9. These are the generations of Noah.
That's right.
Noah was a just man.
What was Noah?
Just man.
Right.
And perfect in his generation. And Noah walked with Yah.
See, Noah was a just. See how just and perfect is always together? Just means a righteousness. Like we just read the Hebrew word for it. So when you add that was perfect, that's what made him perfect. When he failed, he got up. If he did something wrong, he corrected himself. And grace was shown to him. Genesis 17 and 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 17, verse 1.
Go down to verse 7.
Genesis chapter 17 and 1. And when Abram was 90 years old, 9.
So how old is he?
99.
99, y'all. Some of us tired already. Huh? I ain't been in this walk. You hear people, yeah, I've been in this walk about 2 years. Yeah. 90 and 9. Go ahead, bro.
The Most High Yah appeared to Abram and said unto him, I am the Almighty Yah. Walk before me and be thou perfect.
And be thou what?
Perfect. And I will make my covenant between me and thee and will multiply thee exceedingly. And Abram fell on his face, and Yah talked with him, saying, As for me, Behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations.
Right.
Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham. For a father of many nations have I made thee.
See, so what happens is Abraham's name got changed. Jacob's name got changed during visitation. During the judgment, the Messiah said, and I will hand you a stone with your new name in it. We call ourselves or the names we have now. But these ain't the names that the Most High may have written on the stone for us. He may not be Malachi. He may have a different name wrote on the stone that the Most High identify him with. It may be along those lines. You know what I'm saying? Take her for a walk, sis. Just walk around the corner. She'll be all right. Come on back, though. Don't y'all leave. You probably want some of them grapes and cookies over there. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 6. And I will make thee exceeding fruitful, and I will make nations of thee, and kings shall come out of thee.
Verse 7.
And I will establish my covenant between me and thee, and thy seed after thee, and their generations for an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee and to thy seed after thee.
So when you say the law is done away with in all the prophecies, then that go away for us too. This covenant he made from Abraham is out the window.
That's right.
If Christ nailed everything to the cross. We have no promise, y'all, so why are we wasting our time if that's the truth? But he told Abraham, and your seed after you. And Christ came through that seed in the flesh. But talk to Abraham before he went and destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah. That was the Messiah. Because he asked him, Lord, will you destroy? If it's 50, I won't destroy. If it's 40, if it's 30, if it's 10. Wasn't 10 righteous people in 5 cities. Not 10. It's more than 10 people down here, ain't it? And it's just in the basement of the Sears building. Now, can you imagine 5 cities? And there was not 10 people worthy or practicing perfection to be saved? It wasn't 10. Y'all scripture in that lock over there too. Oh, you got it. Huh? Anybody seen Apocrypha? Did we what? It was 2 Apocryphas in that cabinet. Did we take them out? I know we talked about them last week.
Put them up last week.
Take a look over there, bro.
Yeah, so
It should be in there, bro. If it's not, it's somewhere close around. I know we had mentioned. Sister gave one. There should be 2 of them in the cabinet somewhere. You looking at that cabinet all the way? Yeah, just look on the shelf. It may be still in there. All right, y'all. Let's move through this, y'all. Let's get on where we at. First, did we finish that Genesis 17?
yeah, went down to verse 7.
Okay, let's hit Job chapter 1. And y'all, we're going to see what a man does that first when he's working on self first. Y'all, you can't get nobody else right unless self is right. And I'm not talking about self has to be in a position for you to listen to him. Self have to be right up here, no matter what position he's talking from. He may have got himself into trouble and he's in this position, but that don't stop him from talking about self because he's accepting why I'm in this position. But I don't want you to be in this position. Job chapter 1.
We're going to start at.
Start at 1 through 8. Job's right after
Right before Psalms.
Psalms, yeah. Psalms.
We're reading in the book of Job, chapter 1, verse 1. A couple seconds to get there.
Yeah. You want to see? I'll find it.
Everybody there? Get some understanding.
It should be. Yeah.
There was a man in the land of Uz, whose name name was Job. And that man was perfect.
What was that man?
That man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yah and eschewed evil. And there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. His substance also was 7,000 sheep, and 3,000 camels, and 500 yoke of oxen, and 500 she-asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his sons went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and to drink with them. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned.
It may what?
It may be that my sons have sinned, and cursed Yah in their hearts. Thus did Job continually.
See, Job didn't say they sinned. He said because of the feasting, you get a little crazy when drinking is going on. And you may say something. He said they may have cursed God up here in their heart by the drinking. Because y'all know what drinking do. It makes you say things. Like Reuben say, talk, get filthy. When you drink. Girl, you know what Woo! He said just in case. He sacrificed for just in case they may have sinned. Never said they sinned. May have. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. Now there was a day when the sons of Yah came to present themselves before the Most High. And Satan came also among them. And the Most High said unto Satan, whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Most High, and said, from going to and fro in the earth, and from walking up and down in it. And the Most High said unto Satan, hast thou considered my servant Job, that there is none like him in the earth, a perfect and an upright man, one that feareth Yah and escheweth evil?
Right.
Then Satan answered the Most High and said, doth Job fear Yah for naught?
See, so that's the whole question. He questioning now the Lord. Only fearing you because you didn't set him out. Not once did he think about Job eschewing evil, so this test came upon Job. But Job understood. He lost everything, y'all. But he kept his integrity. He like, when I was born here, I was naked. I didn't even have shoes on. I didn't have no clothes on. I wasn't circumcised. I didn't have nothing on when I came. So if I go out that way, it's just the way I came in. With nothing on. Lord don't owe me nothing. He didn't come in rocking Gucci, did he? When they pulled him out, I said, I see his feet, he got gaiters on. Wasn't no baby gaiters on when they pulled him out.
There were no Jordans.
So y'all, we have to understand the Lord will reward you and show you. And then, but he's showing the heart of man, because all this stuff was material to Job. Job said, as fast as this stuff went away and all my children died and all my herds, everything was taken to me. But in that kingdom, when he talk about it in the 19th chapter and the 14th chapter, I know in this body I'm going to see my Redeemer. And then I ain't going to never have to worry about this stuff again. Never ever. And y'all don't understand, Job had boils and sores on him for 20 years. We think that was a weekend. 20 years of suffering. There's other books I heard say Job stank so bad you could smell him out on Natural Bridge from here. They used to walk up to him like this. Y'all know how flesh smells when it's rotten?
Right, balls and all this, boy. Balls and busted.
Y'all ain't got a clue. Y'all ain't understanding what this is talking about. Frozen food spoils. Y'all don't cook something. What you end up doing with that food? You have to throw it out. Frozen food decays. Ain't nothing gonna stop what the Most High put down. He said this flesh gonna be destroyed till I change that. Till I make y'all immortal again. Ain't nothing y'all can do to stop this. So Walt Disney froze in nitrogen so many temperatures below, he's rotten meat in that ice.
Cryogenics.
He's rotten meat in there. When they thaw him out, he gonna be rotten.
Stank.
And stinking. When they divvy it up, they gonna be doing like this.
Yeah, he already judged it.
1 Tim chapter 3. Y'all, we're gonna hit this last script, y'all, just to get some understanding of perfection. And you can never put nothing before perfection, and that's law keeping. You can't never attribute nothing to perfection but law keeping. And how we gonna end this, y'all? That first Ezra, that first chapter, and it's a test in here about righteousness. Of every event we think what may make a man righteous. But we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of it and what causes a man or a woman to be righteous in his walk. We're going to see examples of what we think is righteous and what gets the most power. But when it's all said and done, we're going to come right back full circle to that psalm we started off in. His word is pure. If somebody tell you this word is tampered with, ask them why it's holy still on their Bible. I don't care who it is. When they come to you, the non-messianic, they ain't going to scratch it off. The New Testament going to still be in there. Tell them if it's tampered with, you have to scratch this off because this means set apart and sanctified. If it's tampered with, holy got to come off of here. If it's been tampered with. Only thing been tampered with is this right here. Because you out of your mouth say I should have followed my first mind. My second mind, that's that flesh mind. Lord don't care about that, man. Come on, you going too far. Solomon was with the daughters of Moab. You can do it. You can make a golden idol.
Yeah, whatever.
Wasn't that an idol Moses made in the wilderness?
Aaron made.
Aaron.
Right.
Hey, wasn't that an idol?
Yeah, it was. And?
When that cross, that serpent, he lifted up and they had it. Was that an idol?
And?
Was it?
Right. Alright. So you done ran across a few naysayers.
Yes, sir. What? 1 Tim chapter 3. 1 Tim 1. 1 Tim, I should say chapter 3. That's what I mean.
1 Timothy chapter 3.
Yeah. Y'all, what we're talking about is being mature and coming to maturity in this walk. The weightier matters of the law, y'all, and I just want to hit this Luke 18 and 10. Y'all make sure I hit that. I just want to hit that, and that's the two men that went up to the temple to pray. And y'all, we need that understanding because y'all, this is simple. All the Most High want is a contrite and a broken spirit. Lord, I'm sorry. You ain't got to go into no deep 3-hour prayer and think you're going to weigh or win him over. And Lord, you know that when I was 5, I felt your presence. And now that I'm 62 and I done fell short, Lord, I don't want to hear none of that. Just come on with it. I got old and I'm tripping. Have mercy on me. Where we at, bro? We're going to go
on. 1 Timothy 3, what verse?
Start at verse 1, yeah.
The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 3, verse 1. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. A bishop then must be blameless.
See, blameless don't mean sinless. Means there's no current faults. He practices righteousness. Because we know we gonna sin. You gonna sin. But he must be blameless. No current faults that you can just point to and it's an existing fault. Later on, this is talking about a bishop though. Let's understand this. This ain't talking about an evangelist or an apostle. This is designed for the office of a bishop. Let's read some more.
The husband of one wife.
Right.
Vigilant, sober, of good behavior.
Of what?
Of good behavior.
Right.
Given to hospitality.
See, and let's understand this from a spiritual perspective. Only thing on his mind is the Messiah. He's a bishop because he ain't dabbling in other religions. He's a husband of one wife. If he takes him a physical wife, it's spiritual. But we still married to the Most High. Hell, we married to each other in this marriage covenant. That's why we have to make sure we stay complete. Can't have no outsiders come here in this marriage covenant. We ain't in here. Can't do it. They come in, they got to be in this fold. They got to cut her off and fingernails off, then so be it, and mourn their parents for 90, 30 days or whatever it takes. Then, because we all in a marriage covenant, y'all, together. If you don't understand that, y'all, we wasting our time in this. But you first got to understand this spiritual marriage and who we the wife of. And that's me and two. Ain't talking no homosexual talk.
Of course not.
Talking about a marriage covenant, an agreement that we want to live forever. Y'all know how pleasure is. Be sober up here. That fleshly pleasure lasts 2 or 20 minutes. You can talk all the tough talk you want all night. Yeah, heard it before. Go ahead, brother.
Apt to teach.
Apt to what?
To teach. Not given to wine. No striker. Not greedy of filthy lucre. But patient. Not a brawler. I'm out. Not covetous. One that ruleth well his own house, having his children in subjection with all gravity. For if a man know not how to rule his own house, how shall he take care of the house or the church of Yah?
That sounds like you all the way, brother.
Yes, sir.
What you talking about, brother?
Go ahead, brother.
Not a novice.
Not a what?
Not a novice.
See, this is milk again. Y'all know what novice is for any of y'all that used to box? You start off, you know, the
fresh fish,
fresh fish, and then you're a novice. Then you move to open. Then the amateurs, then the professional. So you can't be a novice in this world and calling yourself a bishop. But everywhere we see the title behind bishop, these men, how are you a bishop and you're saying the law is done away with? How you gonna be skilled in the word and you don't even the instructions is missing from your understanding? You on milk. You ain't even on milk at that point. Go ahead, bro.
Not a novice.
Right.
Lest being lifted up with pride, he fall into the condemnation of the devil. Moreover, he must have a good report of them which are without.
See, not just amongst the brethren. That's what the Messiah was talking about in Matthew 5:47. Pharisees hang around Pharisees. These people hang around them people. You got to get bigger than that. A well man don't need a doctor.
That's right.
We can't keep just preaching to the same crowd. It's without. You got good rapport of them without. You know, man, I know we go to church every Saturday, you know. Man, bro, I mean, I ain't got no problem.
Stand up, brother.
You stand up, brother,
man.
Respect
for him.
I mean, he do what, if he say he pregnant, that's what he do. And that's people without. See, within, we could buffalo each other all day long. But there's outsiders watching us. Watching to see if our light stay at 100 watts like it's supposed to. Or we done drifted back and it's dull. It's like headlights that need that cleaner on it that you get from Walgreens. They yellowed out. Like a flashlight, you have to keep doing it like this. It ain't never clear, it's just yellow, ain't it? Trying to see with that dim light. Can't do it. Let's read some more.
Lest he fall into reproach and the snare of the devil.
Yeah.
Likewise, must the deacons be grave, not double-tongued, not given to much wine, not greedy of filthy lucre, holding the mystery of the faith in a pure conscience.
And what kind of conscience?
In a pure conscience.
Y'all see why I keep coming back to up here? This a pure conscience. You think sin before you open your mouth. You get it out of there. You tell it to be gone before you open your mouth. Be gone. Up here. You ain't got to move your lips. You can ventriloquist this. Be gone. Be gone, Satan. Somebody like, man, what's wrong with him? Be gone. And Satan will leave. But he got us so scared, we looking out the window want to call everybody when all you have to do is tell them, be gone. Leave.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the case, you wouldn't say I should have followed my first mind. Right? Would you? If it's as easy as following your first mind, why is this so hard to tell? Say, man, be gone with that. You wasn't saying that yesterday. I saw what you was doing. Come on. Play just a little while. You can go in. The street lights ain't on yet. There I go. We can hold that. I want to get to this last script, y'all. You may have to pull it up for those who ain't got a pocket. Ezra chapter 1. I just want to read this, y'all. This is very important. We're going to read this chapter out. We're going to go and close out because we talk about the Passover. We got Purim. Yeah, give me that Luke 18. Thank you, young man. Y'all see that mind is still sharp at that age. I ain't got all the timers yet. It's just a little sometimes.
You got some, Uzziah?
You say a lot of times.
Hold on, we got some in the back.
What you got, bro?
You said you what?
Offload. I want to know what to write the check to.
Oh, you got a donation? You want to write you a check?
Can't get a money order? Well, I ain't gonna stop you, bro. Just leave it blank. You know, we'll fill it in. And look, bro. Look, we don't have no organization. We ain't under no 501(c) or whatever it is. So it is what it is. That's why I say free will offering. You know. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just when they show up with one of these names on her, you know. Yeah. That's your one of these names. Yeah. But it be somebody from the body.
You said second Ezra?
First Ezra. No, I want to hit that Luke first, y'all. And yeah, I want you to just pull up Ezra. Chapter 4 though on that first Ezra, chapter 4. Luke 18. Luke 18, and it's just a parable of the two men went up to the temple to pray. And y'all, this is, like I'm saying, what we are going over, y'all, is not rocket science. It don't beat us up to the point that where we have to figure out how to make long pretense of prayer. You ain't got to do that, y'all. You just tell the Lord, I done messed up again, but you got to know when you coming to him how you done messed up. I broke your law concerning this, and I'm sorry about that. I'm going to fight with every fiber in me not to do that again. I don't want number 2 of that. If we don't do that, y'all, that's all he asking for, a broken and contrite spirit. Psalm 51, I don't care about all that other stuff. Don't care nothing about all that other stuff. Because see, your spirit ain't broken and contrite about them misdemeanor sins. It's got to be that felony sin. Thank you, brother. Yes, sir. Luke chapter 18, start about verse 10. Let's get that real quick, y'all. We're going to hit this last one. We're going to get on out. We got to make a couple of announcements. Who got it?
Luke 18. The book of Luke, chapter 18, verse 10. Two men went up into the temple to pray. The one a Pharisee, the other a publican.
We know who Pharisees are? This scripture talking about, y'all. These were the religious men, so to speak, of that day. 2 men went up to pray. One a Pharisee and one a regular brother. Go ahead, bro.
The Pharisee stood and prayed thus with himself. Yah, I thank thee that I am not as other men, or extortioners, unjust, adulterers, or even as this public.
Can y'all imagine this? Now he asking the Most High forgiveness, and he looking at this person like, oh shit, I ain't like everybody else, God. I think you know that already. Like this nigga hit.
He's less than me.
You praying to the Most High like this, and you looking at somebody like you pointing the finger, not like this nigga over here. Keep reading, bro.
I fast twice in the week. I give tithes of all that I possess. And the publican standing afar off would not lift up so much as his eyes unto heaven, but smote upon his breast.
What did he do?
Smote upon his breast, saying, Yah, be merciful to me, a sinner.
A what?
A sinner.
See, this is the same thing as Ezekiel 18 chapter, just acknowledge your sin. 1 John 1 and 8. If you acknowledge your sin, he's faithful to forgive you. But if you're taught that you don't sin, you ain't gonna never acknowledge it. You gonna always say, well, Lord, I already know what I do. And that's acceptable? Would you accept that from your children?
No.
Mama, now you know I sell dope. Now what's wrong with me selling it out of here?
You know I sell dope.
This ain't your house.
Now you know I done run off a few people. I shot them folks out, and I'm here. They looking for me.
Oh, man.
Baby, I understand them bad folks out there looking for you. You didn't try to kill all them people.
Nah.
Go ahead.
Verse 14. I tell you, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted.
Yo, that ain't hard to humble yourself. Lord, I'm wrong. Brother, I'm wrong. Sister, I'm wrong. Forgive me. I forgive you. That ain't, how hard is that, y'all? That Ezra, he gonna pull it up on the board, y'all, for y'all don't have in your pocket for. And this is a very good truth test, so to speak, for when people think certain things, you know, govern over other things. Don't nothing govern over this pure word of truth. Who got that? That's on you, Matt?
No, that's on
Zebediah. Yeah.
2nd Ezra chapter 1.
No, I'll tell you what. Start at verse. Can you pull back to chapter 3? No, I'll tell you what. Just hold right there where you got it. Just go back to chapter. You just read chapter 3 and 10.
3 and 10? You said 3 and 10?
Yeah, what I want is this is the sum of the whole matter. They were asking which is the strongest. What's the truth of the Most High?
That's right, that's right.
And so we just want to see the context of it, and then we're going to get into verse 4, chapter 4, where all of the action is coming down. But this is the question, verse 10, and this is saying, read verse 9. This is First Ezra, chapter 3. Yes. No. Yeah. You got first Ezra up there, right? Yeah, he up there. Start at verse 9.
First Ezra chapter 3 verse 9.
What it say?
And said that when the kings rise, when the king is risen, some will give him writings, and of whose side the king and the 3 princes of Persia shall judge, that his sentence is the wisest. To him shall the victory be given, as was appointed.
So we got wise men out here, and basically what's happening is they say when the king wake up, all of these wise men gonna give the king the most wisest reasoning. Some, because he's the king, gonna be blowing smoke up the king's rear end, pacifying. Like how some people pacifying Donald Trump. As crazy as he is, he still got pacifiers out there explaining as whole countries he didn't really mean that. It was about economics. Oh yeah, right. Go ahead, read up.
Keep going down.
Verse 10 through, just go through 12, yeah.
Verse 10. The first wrote Wine is stronger.
So the first one said wine is the strongest thing on earth. It controls a lot of things. It's wine, y'all. Most men get into trouble. It's wine, but we're going to let it break it down to Go ahead, what's the second one, right?
The second wrote, the king is strong.
Right.
The third wrote, women are strongest, but above all things, truth beareth away the victory.
So these are the questions. Which is the strongest? Because we make up a lot of things in our mind and we get caught up in a lot of things and we look to things more mightier than the Most High. Some people don't trust the strength of the Most High. They trust in wine or something else to give them what's called liquid courage. This man ain't tough till he got a drink in him. Then he'll whoop everybody on the block. Right. But while he's sober, he don't know how to call on the Most High to defend him. Go ahead, brother. Now we're going to jump over to chapter 4.
Chapter 4, verse 1.
Yeah.
First Ezra, chapter 4, verse 1.
It's up on the board, y'all. Y'all can read along.
Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men...
I tell you what, I'm sorry, bro. My bad. Start at verse 17 of 3. And then we're going to get to that chapter. Go ahead and read on, because that's talking about the wine, the first. Go ahead. I'm sorry, brother.
First Ezra chapter 3, verse 17.
Right.
And he said unto them, declare unto us your mind concerning the writings. Then began the first, who had spoken of the strength of wine.
See, but they asked him to declare of his what? His mind. What's up on here how you make decisions about what you're talking about? Declare to us what you think about. Go ahead, bro.
And he said thus, O ye men, how exceeding strong is wine. It causeth all men to err that drink it.
All men? Go ahead.
It maketh the mind of the king and of the fatherless child to be all one, of the bondman and of the freeman, of the poor man and of the rich. It turneth also every thought into jollity and mirth, so that a man remembereth neither sorrow nor debt, and it maketh every heart rich, so that a man remembereth neither king nor governor, and it maketh to speak all things by talent.
See, and basically all it's saying is wine give you a false sense of courage if you're not sober with it. It makes you talk rough. It gives you that courage to where you can approach a woman if you were scared. If you depressed, they say take a shot of this. If you disgusted, it's a shot of this. It's basically what it's saying is this gives me liquid courage. Go ahead, bro.
And when they are in their cups, they forget their love both to friends and brethren, and a little after draw out swords.
See, and that's what happened a little later, don't it? When drinking start, pistols get pulled, don't they? Huh? Wherever wine drinking is out of control, something gonna be pulled. Go ahead.
But when they are from the wine, they remember not what they have done.
The next morning they don't remember nothing. I did what? Pulled my clothes off and peed in the middle of Page and King's Highway. No. I drank, but I don't drink like that. Yes, you do, bro. You did. You told Earl, man, Tyrone wasn't his real daddy. No, I didn't do that, did I? Yes, you did.
That my lip fat.
Hey, that's the family reunion, right? Go ahead, bro.
O ye men, is not wine the strongest that enforces to do thus? And when he had spoken, he held his peace.
He sat back like he had really said something good. Wine is the strongest. Go ahead, bro.
2 Ezra chapter 4, verse 1. Then the second that had spoken of the strength of the king began to say, O ye men, do not men excel in strength, that bear rule over sea and land, and all the things in them? But yet the king is more mighty, for he is Lord of all things, and hath dominion over them. And whatsoever he commanded them, they do. And he bid them make war the one against the other. They do it. If he send them out against the enemies, they go and break down mountains, walls, and towers. They slay and are slain, and transgress not the king's commandments. If they get the victory, they bring all to the king, as well the spoil, as all things else.
So basically what he's explaining here is like when Obama sent the Navy SEALs in there to get Bin Laden. Who got all the glory? One of the SEALs ended up writing a book, but that goes on Obama record. It's taking down the mastermind of 9/11. He gets all of that glory, the king of America at that time. George Bush got the same thing when he took down Saddam Hussein. So this is what they kind of explaining about the king. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6. Likewise, for those that are not soldiers and have not to do with wars, but use husbandry, when they have reaped again that which they had sown, they bring it to the king and compel one another to pay tribute unto the king.
And basically they saying, all y'all gonna pay taxes. Give Caesar what's Caesar's. Who pays on the money? You got to pay tribute to who rules. So then again, the king, y'all paying the king. So that's what they saying. The king got the power. Go ahead, bro. What's up, Jay? Shalom. Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
And yet, he is but one man. If he command to kill, they kill. If he command to spare, they spare. If he command to smite, they smite. If he command to make desolate, they make desolate. If he command to build, they build. If he command to cut down, they cut down. If he command to plant, they plant. So all his people and his armies obey him. Furthermore, he lieth down, he eateth and drinketh, and taketh his rest. And these keep watch around about him. Neither may anyone depart and do his own business. Neither disobey they him in anything. O ye men, how should not the king be mightiest when in such sort he is obeyed and he is held his tongue?
See, so right now, all of these things, they say this is why the king is the best. Everybody pay tribute to him. He tell you to go to war, you go to war. You do whatever he say. And you bring him your tithe. So to say, and he sit back like, yeah, I let him have it then. The king is the wise. Read on.
Verse 13. Then the third, who had spoken of women and of the truth, was Zerubbabel, began to speak. O ye men, it is not the great king, nor the multitude of men, neither is it wine that excelleth. Who is it then that ruleth them, or hath the lordship over them? Are they not women? Women have borne the kings, and all the people that bear rule by sea and land. Even of them came they, and they nourished them up that planted the wine vineyards, from whence the wine cometh.
So it's saying, look, they raised men up who planted the vineyard. What the wine you drinking? So wine and the king, all y'all came from the woman. So he laying his case out. Go ahead, bro.
These also make garments for me. These bring glory unto me. And without women cannot men be.
So I don't know what else you gonna have fun with on the other side of midnight. You want some children. Go ahead, bro.
And if men had gathered together gold and silver, or any other goodly thing, do they not love a woman which is comely in favor and beauty?
Right.
And letting all those things go, do not they gape, and even with open mouth fix their eyes fast on her?
So if a beautiful woman by every man up here still like to do.
Who is that? Smell good. Competing over and everything.
Go ahead, bro.
And if not all men more desire unto her than unto silver or gold, or any goodly thing whatsoever. A man leaveth his own father that brought him up, and his own country, and cleaveth unto his wife.
See, he going with the script now. He say, look, a man leave his father and his mother for this woman. Woo. Go ahead.
He sticketh not to spend his life with his wife, and remembereth neither father, nor mother, nor country. By this also ye must know that the woman have dominion over you. Do ye not labor and toil, and give and bring all to the woman?
You think a brother at the car wash getting them white walls and them rims together for a Negro?
No, not at all.
You got them good smelling incense in there for Earl?
No, not
You
hardly.
squirting them colognes for going out and got that ride nice and 2 drink money in your pocket.
Nah, not hardly.
For who?
That
Hard
dog.
legs? No. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 23. Yeah, a man taketh his sword, and goeth his way to rob and to steal, to sail upon the sea and upon the rivers.
He risked his life.
Yeah.
Penitentiary
Yes,
time
sir. Especially around this season we just had, Christmas.
for that woman.
Let nothing be under that tree, and it's the 23rd. That ski mask and that 9mm coming out. My mama said I should have married Rufus. Ain't nothing under that tree for them kids. There you go. 7-Eleven, you better look out. Go ahead, bro.
And looketh upon a lion, and goeth in the darkness. And when he has stolen, spoiled, and robbed, he bringeth it to his love.
What he do?
He bringeth it to his love.
Then risk your life and lay out the booty before your woman, hoping you get
The booty.
What was that boy hoping? Boy, them eyes is glittering with admiration.
Go ahead.
I got me a man, bro. Hey.
Go ahead, bro.
Verse 25. Wherefore a man loveth his wife better than father or mother. Yeah, many there be that have run out of their wits for a woman.
What have they done?
Run out of their wits.
Graveyard love will come in. Get crazy.
Can't sleep.
Can't tell you nothing. Y'all know what the youngsters say. As soon as you turn 15, you better not. Go crazy. Parents will tell you, you're smelling yourself. You with that little girl, huh? Think you a man. You ain't no man. Go ahead.
And become servants for their sakes. Many also have perished, have erred, and sinned for women. And now do ye not believe me? Is not the king great in his power? Do not all regions fear to touch him?
Right.
Yet did I see him and amp
A pain.
the king's concubine, the daughter of the admirable Bardicus, sitting at the right hand of the king.
Right.
And taking the crown from the king's head.
That's a death sentence.
Right.
She didn't snatch it up off his head. Like,
Go ahead.
Boy.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, the king like this. Go ahead. Read on, brother.
And
I want to give this vision.
And taking the crown from his head, from the king's head, and setting it upon her own head. She also struck the king with her left hand.
Took the crown off his head, put it on hers, and then slapped him in the face.
With the left hand.
That's the white hand.
With the wiping hand, huh?
Y'all understand what she said? See, back in the day, we all ate at the same table. Everybody passed food with this hand. You wipe your rear end with this hand. Better not be passed no cornbread with this hand. See, that's why a thief, they cut off this hand. That's why he had to eat over there by himself. Because he only had this hand. Right. This hand wasn't good for nothing but picking up donuts. So, because it's cut off at the wrist. But this, You can't eat with me. Because there wasn't no shaman and you used to wipe with smooth stones.
Yeah, looking like horrific. Yeah, can't pass no food with that one.
Go ahead.
Verse 31. And yet for all this, the king gaped and gazed upon her with open mouth.
You see this? He like this. Oh, baby.
Stop playing.
It's the king. All your subjects out here looking. She took the crown off and smacked him.
His concubine.
A concubine, not the queen.
The queen.
Go ahead, bro.
If she laughed upon him, he laughed also. But if she took any displeasure at him, the king was fain to flatter, that she might be reconciled to him again.
You see what he doing? This the king. He got the, because she got the monkey mouth, he got the collar now.
You know how it is.
Come on, baby. Come on, the king and me. Let him put the crown on again. Come on, slap me again. I'll prove it.
Yeah, your woman mad, your whole day be a wreck. What's going on? What else to say, huh?
You see what he's saying?
What else to say?
Huh? Man argue all day, get no peace at night. Literally. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 32. O ye men, how can it be but women should be strong, seeing they do this? They do thus. Then the kings and his princes looked one upon another, so he began to speak of the truth.
Now here we get down to it. The truth. Go ahead.
O ye men, are not women strong? Great is the earth, high is the heaven, swift is the sun in his course. For he compassed the heavens round about, and fetches his course again to his own place in one day. Is he not great that maketh these things? Therefore, great is the truth and stronger than all these things.
Read that again. Great is the what?
Truth.
Truth and stronger than all things. All the earth calleth upon the truth, and the heaven blesseth it. All works shake and tremble at it, and with it is no unrighteous thing. Wine is wicked.
What is wine?
Wine is wicked.
The
king is wicked. Women are wicked. All the children of men are wicked. And such are all their wicked works. And there is no truth in them. In their unrighteousness also they shall perish. As for the truth, it endureth.
What does it do?
It endureth and is always strong. It liveth and conquereth forevermore. With her there is no accepting of persons or reward, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things, and all men do well like of her works, neither in her judgment or any unrighteousness. And she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be Yahweh of truth. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, Great is truth, and mighty above all things.
So right there, y'all continue to read, you'll see the king acknowledge that. He like, yeah, my woman did slap the taste out of my mouth and took my crown off. You know, and yeah, I was drunk the other night. Yeah, truth is right, because that's the truth of the matter. All of these things did happen. Truth is an absolute. What time is it? 3:30? 4:30. 4:30. And we here, right? That's the absolute truth. We ain't got to make up no lie about where we at 4:30 right now, do we? You want to close out with that, y'all? Want to get into the 144,000 dealing with more of the perfect man, but when y'all get a chance, Read Revelation 7 chapter, Revelation 14 chapter, and you will understand these men are the first fruits that had no guile in their mouth, nor were they ever caught up in strange doctrines or religion. They are male virgins, spiritual first. So y'all, with that, we're going to close on out, but y'all, we got a couple announcements.